Welcome to the Wacky Wednesday Jets Chaos Show. I don't know why I'm talking like this. I just am. You might see I have a new look. I'd like to change my look. When you're ugly, you keep trying. It's like when you're a single guy and you live in a crappy apartment, so you're moving 5 times a year, always looking for a better apartment. That's me with my look. I'm always looking for a better look. Maybe I'll look a little better if I do that. Maybe I'll look better if I do this. Anyway, we got a lot to talk about tonight, and we will talk about that. But first, a little bit of this, and then we will get moving. So enjoy this. Oh yeah, go. Amazing, that's my boy. He
breaks away from a sack and completes the pass for first down.
Kittle just may have made the most amazing catch.
He fights for the first down and gets out of bounds too.
It's no good. Overtime. Oh, what a catch. How do you drop that? What are you, Jamal Adams? Touchdown.
This is a touchdown all the way.
He reached over the pylon. San Francisco beat Cincinnati.
Oh, okay, real quick. Let's recognize Anthony G was the first one here. He had to go, but he liked it for me. He liked the video, the stream. I appreciate that. Harlan Abraham, one of our newer but very extremely loyal viewers. Thank you for being here. Michael Lando, same to you. Appreciate you. Robert S. Welcome, Robert S. Glad to see you here. Jets Mess, my chief snacker. Thanks for being here. Daniel, you want me to text me? You text me your phone number. Are we friends on Twitter? I need to be able to get it to you. I can't just text my phone number right here. But Pure Adrenaline is here. Don Stomp C is here. That's awesome. My sister-in-law, Mavi, is here. Hello. And Nick Shine, proud New York Jets fan, is here. So there's a lot of you in the joining into the chat. I'll try to get to some more names later. But without further ado, we have a show to do and we need to get going. So people say they like my intros, so I'm not going to deprive this man his intro. He is the hot dog eating New York Ranger, New York Mets, New York Jets, New York Knicks talking, stats finding, trivia asking, 18-inch pizza partner eating, fellow goatee wearing, nice guy, president of the Virginia New York Jets fan club. Please welcome Y2K99.
Well, you know something, Jeremy Cravat, dude? You got your whole family here in the chat, man, trying to boost your numbers so you can be a real YouTube star. You think you're going to be the next Ryan? You think you're going to be the next Jet Central, the next Matt O'Leary, the next Green Bean? Well, let me tell you something, dude. You got to get Buffalo. You got to get Buffalo. You got to get Nick Shine. You got to get yours truly on the show to help you boost your numbers, dude. So we're going to give you the best show that we've got because you can go down to the goatee. You can have a full beard. You can be completely clean shaven. It's not going to change, brother. So what you going to do when the New York Jets run wild on you? How you doing?
That was awesome, dude. That was fantastic.
So just touching the koozie just gets me in the Hogan mood. I don't know.
The only thing I know how to do is Roddy Piper, like with Jimmy Snook and Piper's Pit. Do you want the coconut? What's up, Garrett Ham? I'm going to be hanging out with Garrett Ham.
I didn't decide to do the promo until about 30 seconds before, and I grabbed the koozie. I'm like, let's switch this up a little bit.
My niece is here. Hello, Leah.
Hi, Lee.
And Braden.
Clan. Yeah, the whole Quebec clan's coming in.
Yeah. Braden from New Zealand's here, eating his meat pies.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Did I say hello to Pure Adrenaline Fantasy Sports? That is the postman. And you could find me on his channel a lot. He has me on. I think I'm going to be able to be on tomorrow, it turns out, if he still hasn't filled that slot. But he has a show that is pretty big on Twitch. Am I saying it right? So if any of you are on Twitch, look up Pure Adrenaline Fantasy Sports. He's still on YouTube. He still puts the videos up on YouTube. So if you look up Pure Adrenaline Fantasy Sports, if you play fantasy sports, if you're somebody who participates in fantasy sports, this will give you an edge. He does a lot of the analysis for you. I'm going to use it. I already signed up for his fantasy league, so I'm going to be not only on that channel, but when I'm not on, I'm going to be using John's numbers and the stats he shows to help me make moves and know who to start and who to bench each week. And Mike Galiza, haven't seen you in a bit, buddy. Welcome. He's all the way in Florida. Great guy. Everybody say hello to our Jets brother, Mike Galiza.
Hey, Mike.
Man. And Knobcraft is here. So, and he likes your Hogan promo. Maxi Million is here. Blitz BK is here. We got a good crowd, man. It's early. We're building up. I think Buffalo set us up for a really nice evening.
I agree.
Yep. So guaranteed, we have 53 days counting down, hanging out in the lounge. Yeah, man. And I'm sure, I don't know if you know, but it was announced that the Jets lounge participants in the game, those of us that are going to be staying in the hangar from the Jets lounge, we're going to be joining together and meeting together as far as tailgate party with Gotham City. So they do a big thing where they sell tickets to a big tailgate party. I'm sure Garrett Ham is going to be there. I'm going to be there. Green Bean's going to be there. Buffalo's going to be there. Matt O'Leary, Ryan from Jets Talk 24/7. We're all going to, I assume they're going to all participate in that as well before the game. We're going to be at that tailgate party. So we're going to meet up there, have a great time, getting warmed up, and then we're going to head over to the hangar. And I think Nick Shine, proud New York Jet fan, is going to end up at least at the game in the hangar with us. I'm waiting for a confirmation on that, but I think that's going to end up happening. We're very hopeful. And Mark Reese, our friend Mark Reese, is going to be there as well. So there's going to be so many people at this game. But if you are not sitting with us in the hangar, but you're going to the opener, go to Gotham City's website, and next week they're going to start selling tickets to their tailgate party, and that's where you can meet everyone and be with the absolute most extreme Jet fans before that game starts. And let's see what Tom C is saying. Most importantly, Iowan Jets fan is going to be there. I'm actually going to bring him a Staten Island bagel and cream cheese because I don't want that. I don't want him visiting the East Coast and not experiencing a bagel and cream cheese. So
there's so many things when you come to New York you just cannot leave out. I mean, between the bagel, the pizza, the cheesecake, the hot dogs. I mean, it's very hard to leave something out and to get it all together. You know, whether it's the Italian hoagies, the Chinese food, or Italian subs. I don't want to offend anybody by saying hoagie, but yeah, it's so hard to leave something out. So when you're in New York, you just got to go for it, man. It doesn't matter if you got to starve for a couple of days or do what you have to do. I'll go all veggie for a few days. But when you come here and it maybe you're one shot here, you got to go for it.
Sorry to interrupt you, Adam. I can't help myself because I have to introduce the North State, New York, fast-growing YouTube question-asking teacher, crazy wing eating, can of drink right now, drinking YouTuber in the world.
And don't mess with him because he teaches Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu just like he taught me, brother.
What up? Jeremy,
BJF.
Fun fact. Yeah, BJF does BJJ, but he does not give BJJs, as Nick Shine pointed out in the chat. Hey, fun fact for you, Jeremy.
Yes.
Hopefully that's not me echoing. I got my headphones and everything. It just because I was looking through my past streams and I came across one of yours, and it was on Wednesday, March 16th, that I made my first Wacky Wednesday appearance on your show, and I had 42 subscribers. And so it was like two things. One, Jets Chaos, who at that time was like well over 600, took a flyer on me and gave me a lot of notoriety. I still have like most of my people who show up to my streams regularly are subscribed to both of us and are liking both of our streams. So one, thank you. And it was just cool to see like how supportive the Jets YouTube community is. So that was a little nostalgia moment for me there just a few short months ago.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. And I want to say that I feel like you've paid it back in tenfold. That investment. I didn't go by the amount of subscribers you had. I wanted to make my show have the best content possible, and I watched you, and I honestly believed that to deliver the best content possible, it would be to have you on. So that was why I did it. I did it just based on quality, and you seem like a really good guy. As soon as I found out you were a teacher, I knew I liked you. So I'm proud of the fact that I'm you as a friend. I'm proud of and I'm proud of myself for being right about it, for trusting my instincts and being able to see that guy's really good. I want him to make a better channel, and I'm happy if I had any part in helping you become part of this community in this world that we're in right now, in the YouTube Jets world. Any little part I played is an honor for me to have played.
Awesome.
I feel a little
Love,
bit weird
man.
being caught in the middle right now. Do you two need a minute together? Anything else you two need to say to each
Well,
other?
it's okay.
I'll be here
You're
when you
not
want.
free in this either, because I'll say this. Somebody mentioned, no, you're right in the middle of this love triangle, Y2K, because somebody mentioned to me, they were like, oh, you're having Jeremy on your post game stream, like your buddy. And I'm like, listen, Jeremy's and Adam are not on my post game stream because they're my buddies. Like I have one of my best friends is a big time Jets fan, asked to be on my show all the time, and I can't have him on because he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. I told him that right to his face. I'm like, the dude thinks that Ashton Davis is gonna be the next Ed Reed. I can't have that uttered on my stream. Okay, Jeremy and Y2K are invited on my post game stream because they add value to it. The fact that we're bros and that me and Jeremy just had a very cringy father son, possibly awkward but pretty appreciated moment. That aside, that's not the reason why we collaborate. I collaborate with them because
Whoa. You said father and son. Wait a minute.
How old am
Buffalo. You know what that means? Buffalo. J. Cole is your brother.
Oh my god!
You are the brother of J. Cole.
this is how we start streams. This is how you won't get, look, Jets Talk 24/7. They're the biggest and the best, but you will not get this for better or worse on Jets Talk 24/7.
No chance. No, Frankie would not have this. O'Leary would not have this. God bless them, but there is no shot that we get away with that.
Knobcraft chimes in with Ashton Davis is the next Donna Reed. What's up, Salty Nalty? Good to see you. And hey, man, I forget that people are watching. They're not always chatting, but they're watching, and a lot of people watch the videos afterwards. So I forget that. I'm sorry I said that you weren't around for a while, because I got to remember that there's so many people that support us that aren't chatting in the chat, because it's like we'll end up with 180 views, let's say. But within 3 days, it's up to 400. So there's a lot of people that watch this show, as a replay. So to those people,
Most people,
watching So all those people, don't think we don't appreciate you. We appreciate everybody out there that's watching, whether you're watching live, chatting, not chatting, or you're watching replays of our shows. It really helps a lot. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and Buffalo, I want to thank you for helping put the word out about my most recent video about the Jets rookie predictions. It's one of the highest viewed videos that I've had up to this point. I've only been doing this thing about 6 weeks, really, is when I've been doing it regularly. But you're definitely helping to make this one of the most viewed videos I've had. So I thank you for that.
Yeah, man, guys, check it out. I messaged Adam right after I watched it. I said that was your best video yet. So go check it out on WA2K as soon as you get off the stream tonight. Good stuff.
Thank you.
So the answer, Maximilian, is I haven't contacted Jake Asman about him being on my show or being on his show yet. I am in contact with him. It's more about the jerseys. It's more about, I send him pictures, because I order jerseys from DHgate where he kind of gave the information out. So I do for like a year ago sent them messages saying, hey, I got my jersey. Thanks for the, and he wrote back. So so I do kind of interact with him a little bit. So, eventually I'll ask him to be on when the timing's right. I don't want to force it, but when it makes sense, I would love to have Jake Asman on the show or be on his show. I'm just not trying to rush it and just do it to do it. I want it to be when, there's a plan of why and why we're doing it. So, I got one thing I got to do now. You're not going to believe this. getting kind of crowded in here, I know, but it's going to get a little bit more crowded because in the back, waiting to come in, is the meatball parmesan hero eating, Facebook posting, weapons hot starring, big guy that'll crush you into 50 million pieces and doesn't like pickled herring, and you better not call it Taylor ham because it's pork roll. That's right, it's Nick Shine, the proud New Yorker.
Valid on all points. I see nothing wrong with anything you said. What's up, gentlemen?
What's going on?
Man, it's not Friday. What's going on?
I know, right?
It feels like a Friday, doesn't it? I got one of those feelings tonight, boys. We might be on here until 3 a.m. I got a feeling about tonight.
I got a feeling.
I got that. It's a work for me.
Yeah, Jeremy's got it.
Here we come. Yeah, we got Hogan impressions and Black Eyed Peas within 5 minutes of each other, only on this show.
What's up, everybody? What's up, Chad? How you guys doing?
What's going on?
What's up? What are we discussing?
Well, we were just having lots of very gushy moments that probably made a lot of people throw up.
Yeah.
But
So we brought you in to straighten us
Throw
out.
some my way if that's what we're doing.
but our real plan is to ESPN came out with a 3-year ranking, like not just ranking teams, but ranking them over 3 years. Watsu-K99 has some information. We were going to go through it slowly, get some reactions, just have a discussion about what we think and where did the Jets land in the 3 years of these rankings and what direction do they think we're going?
Yeah, so we could do this a bunch of different ways. I've got all 32 teams ranked right here. We could go from bottom to top. We could just focus on the Jets and certain teams that we want to look at. So, yeah, whatever you guys would like to do.
Can we guess where the Jets are first?
No.
And then get into it? No? Okay.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I'll just explain quickly how they did this. So they ranked each team. They gave each team a score from basically 50 to 100. So like 70 is average, 80 is good, 60 is bad, that kind of thing. So they rated it 30% of the score is the non-quarterback roster, 20% quarterback, 20% coach, 15% draft, and 15% front office. So the most value is the non-roster, then quarterback and coaching, then draft and front office. So they rated those five criteria. So they ranked where each team is, 1 through 32, the overall score, and where they ranked from 1st to 32nd. So, so let's go ahead with the Jets. Where do we think the Jets wound up between 1 and 32 in the league overall?
I would say probably about a 77 to an 82, somewhere in that range.
You're going with the overall score. Okay, but how about 1 to 32?
1 to 32, I would say probably about 14.
Okay. Buffalo, what do you think?
I think that it's going to be lower than it should be. I feel like everything we've seen with these sort of rankings the past 6 years has had the Jets from 30 to 32. But I do know there was one that just rated the overall rosters for the next 3 years that had the Jets at 24. So I feel like probably in that 22 to 24 range.
Okay. Jeremy, how about you?
Yeah, I think that knowing them and knowing what the media has done to us, I would say somewhere between 22 and 25.
Okay.
But it's future, right? It's from the future. It's not.
Yeah, it's more focused. Yeah, it's more focused on going forward. So, yeah.
I still think they have no respect for us.
No.
And I don't think they like Zach Wilson.
Yeah. So the result is, here's the key statement. The result is a comprehensive ranking based on how well each team is positioned for the future. So it's not about our draft picks up to this point. It's more of the draft picks, I think, also going forward. So you have to factor that in also. So,
I mean, there's such a big difference between what I would guess they did and what I believe.
Right? Yeah,
I think
I said what I thought we would be, right. Not what ESPN thinks we would be.
Right. I'm trying to think like ESPN. I think that Joe Douglas has given us every reason to think we're going to be ranked fairly high. based on the way he's been picking and trading and making moves. So, you know,
All right, I'll give you. I'll give you each score
Can I
where it
change mine
ranks
real quick?
overall.
Can I change mine real quick? Giving the Iowan that ESPN is a butthole network, I'm going to take 5 off and move us down to 19th. I'm going to do the Iowan butthole curve here.
All right. So I'm going to give you each criteria and then where we ranked overall. So I'm going to go through.
Okay.
Let's go through these one at a time. So for our overall roster, minus the quarterback, they rated us a 75.8, which is like completely average, and that is 24th overall in the league.
That's ridiculous.
right.
Our roster in 3 years is going to be 24th overall.
When Brees Hall and Jermaine Johnson, all right, we'll get into it.
over the next 3 years.
I hope that ESPN is the 24th overall sports network in 3 years. I hope they free fall.
Oh, it gets better. Yep. Quarterback, they ranked us 74th. That's 21st overall. So, hey, they could have been harsher on Zach, as a matter of fact, I think.
Yeah, but they think in 3 years he'll still be only 21, the 21st best. They won't break. I guess maybe Modine works at ESPN.
Modine and Steve Case's intern, probably. So,
Wedding Crashers is coming to mind right now. Erroneous on all points.
the way you put your hands up, that's usually what happens before Jeremy gets kidnapped and he gets thrown off the chats. But anyway, coaching 74.8. There you go, exactly. Coaching ranked 23rd in the league. So they ranked solid 23, and the whole coaching staff at 23. The draft was our highest rating, 82.3. We're ranked 10th overall. So that was pretty good. So
But then how does that jive with the roster being 24th when this draft? Okay.
Yeah, how's
You're
that
applying
jive?
logic
Doesn't
to an
make sense.
illogical situation.
It's like they had different guys do every category, so
They
none
did.
of the jives and makes
That's
sense.
exactly true.
Yeah, so none
That's
of the
exactly
jives
what
make
happened.
sense.
Oh,
They
Yeah,
had Field
it
Gates,
doesn't
Lewis
make
Riddick,
sense.
Jeremy Fowler, and Seth Walder.
They're so
they have
stupid.
one guy do each category. That's what they did.
Those are actually more respectable names than I would have assumed, but
Yeah.
and by ESPN standards.
Right. And front office was a 78.5, 20. They put our front office at 20. That is the one that bothered me more than any of them.
That's ridiculous.
It's
Just
insulting.
ridiculous.
So we do the overall ranking. We get a 76.6, good enough for 21st in the National Football League. And if you like, I can. They have 4 categories. Each of these genius analysts wrote a paragraph about why they're ranked where they are, their biggest worry, what could change for the better, and the stat to know. So to basically summarize this, what could change for the better? We're looking for another splash in the secondary. We could use a center fielder at safety. Fine. Biggest worry, they basically say, is Salah the guy and is Wilson the guy? That's what Lewis Riddick. So Lewis Riddick is not a believer in Salah or Wilson yet. So
Well, they haven't proven it either, right?
right.
Like we
Yeah, it's a legitimate
knock that
question.
Take. Like that's a clear take. Like when they did the coaches rankings last week, most of those rankings are based on what you've achieved as a head coach. 4 wins. We haven't achieved anything yet with him as a head coach. So you can't. We can project. We can hope. We can prognosticate, but there's no proof yet. It's still a 4-win season in his first year as a head coach. So there's still a lot to prove.
Okay, we got Garrett Wilson trending on Twitter. I just want to make sure there's no injury or anything.
I think it was
He
his
had a
top
golf.
golf swing.
Oh, a golf swing.
golf
Okay.
club,
Yeah, he almost killed someone with the
His
golf
club
club.
at top
Okay.
golf.
He's not hurt.
It's
He's not
good
hurt.
stuff. It's good
Yeah.
stuff. It's nothing bad. No DUI, no murder charge, nothing. Didn't beat a girlfriend. He threw a club, let go of it at Top Golf, and it's trending today.
And a couple of his pearls fell off.
And no relation to Zach Wilson at all, but it actually hit a MILF. He smashed the MILF in a different way.
Okay, now I got to watch the video. But yeah, so that's basically where they're ranked is 21st. So do we want to go any further into this, or how about we talk about a few other teams? What do you think?
What was the overall ranking? We predicted the overall ranking.
Yeah, 76.6. You were pretty close to. I think you had right around there.
What was that overall?
21st.
21st in the league.
21st?
Yeah,
Okay.
so 21.
The only thing I really have a problem with is the overall roster ranking.
Don't someone.
Wow.
Wilson almost.
That's like
Domed someone? I've never heard of somebody being domed. Is that a thing now?
When you hit them
Must
in
be
the
an
head.
Arkansas thing.
It must be in Arkansas. An Arkansas high school thing. Must be for underage Arkansas.
Hey, Arkansas's got the golf cart, so you can go retrieve that golf club of Garrett Wilson's. He's got like
Arkansas
7
is
golf
waiting.
carts in his garage.
I know.
Yeah,
He's got a
Arkansas
little-
is still waiting for the
I
first
can
time
see
he
Arkansas
gets
getting
domed.
nailed for driving on a golf cart. I can see it happening one day. I don't know. Yeah, Buffalo, you mentioned the roster. For me, it's the front office. I could deal with 24th for the roster right now, outside of the quarterback, but the front office being only 20. I don't know what else they would be looking at. I mean, I don't understand how that would not be higher.
But you said it yourself. The whole fact that they didn't coordinate that
Yep.
shows their ineptitude and their incompetence. Because how do you make predictions that are so linked to each other with separate people and not run them together?
Yeah.
If you're doing that, if you're going to rank the roster in 3 years and the management in 3 years and the draft in 3 years, they have to make sense in that ranking, don't they? It doesn't make any sense.
That's why it's ESPN.
It's just, well, first of all, so if the front office is 20 but the draft is 10, who did the draft? The front office. That doesn't. I don't understand. It's like saying I'll give the chef 5 stars, but the meal 3 stars. What?
I think maybe they're looking at draft capital going forward, and maybe because we don't have like a ton of draft picks. I don't know. Maybe they're expecting we're going to have all these high draft picks, therefore we deserve a top 10 draft ranking. Maybe that's the thinking here.
Now, I know I'm usually like the wise talking, one-line type of guy, but I'm going to be a little philosophical here. Are the 4 of us trying to make sense out of something ESPN did? What does that say about us?
That says it's going to be a long night, guys.
That's mistake number 1. Like, we're trying to break it down logically. Like, these people were doing
Maybe one day.
TV videos from home with masks on in their own home. So, like, we can't expect ESPN to be very, very bright.
I hope Jeremy Fowler was watching when Watuke was talking about rotisserie chickens in my channel earlier tonight. Then we can call it even.
Great.
Oh boy.
I mean, I think that the media just, I mean, I think, and somebody said it in the chat, like, we just need to win and earn respect. Like, we can make all the moves we want to make. Guys could do this, guys could do that. At the end of the day, the rest of the league, just like it is for us, we don't have time to analyze every team. Forget about the media and the guys that are paid to do it. They should be. But, like, as far as fans are concerned and everything, it's really about just winning on the field, and if you're, maybe they're just cowards. They're afraid to write positive things about the Jets because they don't want to get burned. It's safer to just go along with the crowd and just knock on the Jets. But if the Jets start winning, watch how fast they start shifting over and everybody starts jumping on that bandwagon. And like, if we win 8-9 games this year, suddenly these rankings will change next year and look a little different. And then if we win and make the playoffs the year after, magically, all of a sudden, all those rankings will go up even more. So we have to win. Otherwise, we can't act surprised that we get so disrespected.
Correct.
I will say this about Field Yates. He did say he was rather positive. He wrote the why they're here. He said, I'm going to read you what he wrote. The Jets are trending up after multiple off seasons of stockpiling both young and veteran talent. And Robert Saleh brought an energy that showed up and down the stretch in his rookie season as head coach. If quarterback Zach Wilson becomes the player I believed he could be prior to the draft last year, the Jets are ready for takeoff. So there is some positivity here. But obviously, both Field Yates, as opposed to Louis Riddick, seem to have different opinions of Robert Saleh. Riddick says, I wonder if Saleh and his staff are the right coaching crew to extract maximum return out of this roster. So Riddick
I wonder that too.
Look,
I wonder that too. I'm optimistic, but I mean, we can't. Robert Saleh is far from a proven commodity at coach. I think JD. Let me ask you guys this, Joe Douglas, because I like, as far as NFL standards go, I'd almost give the man a freaking lifetime contract. I mean, if I had the choice between this, if Joe Douglas said, I'm either going to walk right now or you have to sign me to a fully guaranteed 12-year deal to run this team. Those are my only 2 options. I'm inking him for 12 years and I don't even have to think about it. Like that's where I'm at with Robert Saleh and Zach Wilson. I don't feel that way at all yet. But Joe Douglas, the front office to me is, I have to agree with Jeremy. I think that's the most, the ranking I disagree the most with. What's your take on that question? I'll start with Nick. I know Nick is a pretty big JD guy. Are you that big of a JD guy? If Nick, if Joe Douglas gave you the ultimatum, I'm your guy for 12 years, fully guaranteed, you can't get rid of me, or I'm walking out the door and you're finding a new GM, what do you do?
I don't even let him make that suggestion. I offer that to him right away now. I don't need the ultimatum with Douglas. You nailed it dead on with me. I feel that we were so bad. Like, our roster has gotten light years better, and we're not even considered an average team in the NFL yet. Just think about that. That's how awful we were. Like I think Adam said earlier, all of our rankings were 30 to 32 the last couple of years. Yeah. To jump up to early 20s says a lot about where we were and how awful we were. And you're seeing it now. We're building the trenches. They're putting investments into drafting receivers early. Round 2 more last year, round 1 with Wilson this year. We're not going to hope that a quarterback can just succeed with walk-on guys. We're putting investments into the line. We're putting investments into the backfield. We took this draft. We traded up. We all think we had a colossal draft. We think it was fantastic. I love Joe. I love what he's done with the cap. I've loved what he's done with the short-term contracts. I love what he's done with making this a destination that people want to come to. That people, Jordan Whitehead flat out said, I want to go there. I want to play with Robert Saleh.
And remember,
when have you heard that? When was the last time you heard that about us?
Rex Ryan, briefly.
Rex. Yeah. I don't think too many people were doing that for Todd Bowles.
But that's because we had gotten to the championship game, and then everyone the second year was like, let's go join that team.
Right.
And we had some of the older guys come and join.
This is with a bad team. That's a very notable difference. That is very, very true.
The tide's turning here. They see the momentum's going in the right way. They see we got a competent front office. They see that the owner is hands off now. It's Joe Douglas's organization to run, and teams respect him. They know, everyone knows he is the mastermind, not Harry Rossman. Joe Douglas gets credit for being the architect with that Philly team. What did he do? Built in pass rushers, built the O-line, brought in offensive weapons. Yeah, doing the same thing here. Check, right?
And remember, when he came here, think about it. He had no talent to work with, practically no talent, and no cap space.
No.
Usually you'll have one or the other when you have a regime going up.
And no promising young players to build around.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nobody who was anywhere near a second contract.
Could have been.
And worse than all of it, just the worst imaginable culture. I mean, it's just a losing culture with so little positivity in it. It was just I mean, that's the biggest thing. We were probably the biggest joke of a locker room in the. From the.
It was like one of those scary trees out in the middle of a field where if there's nothing grows on it, all the branches go different directions. That was our locker room. There was no highway with everybody going the same direction. It was just a free for all, and not in a crazy negative way, but there was no all gas, no brake. There was no purpose. There was no company line. There was no
standard
continuity. There was no
expectation.
There was no. What's your when you start a business? They ask you what's your
plan,
not your purpose. You write your
mission statement.
Mission statement. Yes, thank you. We had no mission statement. Now other teams look at us and say, "This is what this team's about." Other free agents look at us and say, "You know what? This team has a purpose. They have a goal. They're united. They're going in the same direction together." Front office and the coach are two of the coolest fucking dudes I've ever seen. So let's go play here.
Yeah, man. When they did that Flight 22 and they did Coach and JD did that fist bump before they went into the war room. I mean, I know it's just hype stuff for fans. I don't think we got anything groundbreaking out of the series overall, but I got goosebumps. I eat that stuff up, man. I really loved it. And you nailed it, Nick. LaDainian Tomlinson and Antonio Cromartie only joined the Rex Ryan team
Taylor.
After, I'm sure there's a couple other names if we keep thinking.
Santonio.
Santonio was a trade the next year.
Edwards and Holmes were trades. But those guys came here willingly.
Right. After we won. to be able to be coming from, Adam Gase and off of that season and have like no track record of success, and to be able to sell your vision to men in their prime, who've been, Super Bowl
Hall of Fame type of players too.
I mean, you're talking like even guys like, if we talk about guys like CJ Uzama, DJ Reed, these guys have been to the playoffs. Uzama coming off a Super Bowl, Whitehead coming off a Super Bowl, to come here and not pay the Jets tax and to say it's because we believe in this coach and we believe in this vision. I don't think we've ever had a Jets staff in my years of fandom that has had that. The ability to, like, as a startup company, essentially, to go on Shark Tank and give your pitch and have somebody say, I'm in. That's incredible.
Yeah, I watched.
And I know we don't talk politics on the show, but thank you to Donald Trump for sending Woody Johnson to the UK for 4 years. One of the best things that happened to the Jets.
That's
Christopher
allowed.
took over. Christopher took over, and Christopher was more low key, right? Woody was kind of trying to be a Steinbrenner for many years. With I want this guy, I want this guy, I want the big name, I want to sell.
Trying to be Jerry Jones.
And yeah. Well,
Chris is like the guy. Woody like tries to fit in. I feel like Chris would fit in. He's like a regular guy. Like he's a guy I could see him having a beer with at a tailgate. I'm not saying
Chris
that makes
is the
him
guy
a better
whose
owner.
brother became
He's
a
just more
billionaire.
relatable.
He got rich by association.
That's the best way. I guess. I don't know.
It's nice to see. Like, and what Buffalo said, the fist bump, the bro hugs. We're on the clock. We're on the effing clock. When you trade up for JJ. I do not think an ounce of what Salah and JD do is staged for the camera. I believe that these two guys are these two guys, and they are dedicated, passionate, emotional, wear your heart on your sleeve type of employees for the Jets. And they want to do everything they can because they know if you win one here, you're a god forever. You are bigger than the Yankees, bigger than the Mets, bigger than the Giants. If you take the Jets to one and we win it after 1969 and how long it's been, you're a legend.
Right. You
are
you
an all-time legend.
You have the keys to the NFL. And basically.
You did the impossible, right? We're a laughingstock.
I think the only team that would be bigger in New York than it would be the Knicks. Because I feel like there are more Knicks fans. The Knicks,
yeah, but that's not possible. We're
that's another story.
You can't get a star to go there.
He's not wrong. Well,
oh, that hurt my heart, but it's so true.
There's a reason why I have so little
logical stuff. Adam.
There's a reason. You see, when I do my videos, I rotate the banners. I've got the message, just the Rangers. There's a reason I don't have a Knicks logo banner yet. They got to make me earn. No, they got to earn me buying that banner and framing it. That's all I'm going to say.
The biggest thing was Fournier hitting 6 threes on opening night, and Nets fans thought they got another star, or Knicks fans thought they had a superstar. He dropped like 36 in overtime on opening night, and then 2 months later, this is the worst contract in Knicks history.
Never mind Eddie Curry or Andrea Bargnani or Stephon Martin. Anyway, Allen Houston, Jerome James. Anyway, we're getting off topic.
I feel like you're driving yourself to drink with these names.
I got a Wicked Weed Dr. Dank. This is like a double IPA. I figured I would need it to get through this one.
That's a tongue twister to say. You can't say that after 3 of them.
I'm not. I think I'm down to the last one. All right.
Huh.
All right. So that's a little bit of a Jet. Yeah, so that's a little bit. Any other thoughts about the Jets rankings, or what do you want to do? Or we can go on to another team if you want.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Based on those numbers, let's compare that to other teams. Like right now, I want to say, what is it for New England? Because we know what New England's draft look like. We know what New England's roster looks like. I want to know what ESPN says about New England right now and where they're ranking New England.
Do you now? All right. Yeah. All right. Well, let's go through Nick's coming back, I hope, or is he getting the cold one?
I think he's getting the cold one.
All right.
It's been 5 minutes.
All right. We'll start going through how about we go through the New England rankings here, and then we'll talk about where they rank overall. So, for the overall roster minus the quarterback, where would we have the Patriots? If we were doing this ranking, where would we
33rd.
27.
Okay.
I'd probably have them around 20 or
Yeah, despite that powerhouse defense where we could barely name a player outside of Matthew Judon, they are actually ranked 22.
They're behind us.
22 behind. Yeah, no, we're 24 on that. They're ahead of us by 2
Oh,
spots.
They have New England ahead of us as a better roster.
They have us, yeah, barely, but ahead of us. All right.
Okay.
Can I comment?
Now we're going to get to the fun one. Quarterback.
They have him 18th.
Okay.
I feel like I would say I'd say right in the middle, 16.
15.
15. You guys are close, but Jeremy's the closest. 14th. They rate him an 80.3.
Mac Jones got rated 14th.
Yeah, and Zach
Do me a
Wilson,
favor,
got rated
cancel
21.
your ESPN Insider immediately. You're being robbed.
Watsuki, do you have available to you like who's like who are Mac Jones's peers? Like, do you know who's right near him by chance or no?
I could figure it out, but I'd have to scroll through it a little bit. It would take me a moment.
Yeah,
But
maybe we'll come
Oh,
back to it
they-
later. Yeah.
I could do it in a little
like
bit.
the
Yeah.
Excel
Yeah.
spreadsheet
We'll
where
get
each
there.
team is ranked. They didn't
What?
give you they didn't give like an Excel spreadsheet like overall.
I did not know if I upgraded my subscription, I could have Frankie from Flatbush create any spreadsheet that I wanted, but I don't make that much money. So, coaching, this one shouldn't be too difficult. So, where would they rank Belichick and the coaching staff?
Number 1.
oh, top two.
I'm not even going to tease it. Number 1. Yeah,
Yeah.
94.3. I can't knock that. Draft. Where would they rank the Patriots?
This is
draft?
going to be hysterical because I
I
think
would say
they're
20s.
horrendous at drafting.
I would say 20s.
It's
Yeah.
got to be
No.
in the bottom third, below 20.
They're going to put him at 12. Watch, 12.
Jeremy, not quite that much. They're actually ranked 29. They actually are towards the bottom.
Oh wow.
So they got
Wow.
that right.
So
And
whatever
finally-
guy did that ranking is somebody I respect. Can we get that name?
Very well done. Yes. Yeah, we know
Can I
it's not.
comment on this on the comment on here?
Well, first,
Yeah,
no. Before
Oh,
you
boy.
worry about the comment, dude, please keep in mind, Jeff's New York 102. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. It's awesome of you. So Nick, be careful. Tread carefully.
No, I don't think Chris was lost. I think Chris did what you need a football owner to do. Football owners aren't football guys. Woody was trying to be a football guy. Chris is when you kind of saw like the hands being taken off the team by the ownership, and I think that's helped us. So I wouldn't say Chris was lost. I think Chris was more involved with the business side, and once we got even McCagnon, he gave McCagnon some free reign, right? And both Johnsons have always cut the checks.
But look, I don't know who made the decision to take their hands off and not be involved in these last few years. But what I think is, as bad as Adam Gase was, the one beautiful thing he did for this organization was Joe Douglas is here because of him. Like Joe Douglas ended up here, and what's going on now, I don't know. I don't know enough to give credit to Chris or Woody. Is just simple. They let Joe Douglas be in charge, and that was the key thing.
Yeah,
I don't, so right now I'll just credit both of them for because neither one or whoever, just for not interfering. Thank you for just letting Joe Douglas do his job.
You let your football people make your football decisions,
Right.
And they come to you and say, "We're signing this guy. This is who we want." Well, what about Le'Veon Bell? No, we're not giving $15 million to a running back. Just sign this check, and we'll talk tomorrow.
Yep. Rob V, what's going on? Good to see you here, buddy.
Oh boy, here we go.
Arkansas.
The other state is starting.
we got Talking Tigo in the house. What's up, Dad?
Can't believe
Papa? How you doing? He's a
I feel like
father
we've hit
now.
the big time.
Buffalo
This is like
said,
the first-
"What's up, brother?" And he said, "The baby." What's up, Tigo? Miss you, buddy.
Now
That's
Kraft.
awesome.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah, but please. I know McCagnon did not do a good job, but I can't think of one good thing that Gase did. Come on, I can't go there. I cannot go there. I feel like we've really hit the big time. This is the first show that Jeremy and I have done where we're actually seeing super chats.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, well, that's the 1,000
Yeah.
number there.
Oh yeah, congrats,
I
man!
know.
It kicked
Yeah.
in.
First time. Yeah, it's first time.
You know, it's like skip one.
Awesome,
Please,
man.
please,
I'm just
please.
kidding.
Firing in.
I was gonna skip it.
That's why I said the other state is starting.
Yeah, Nick, tread lightly. These are worth money. Exactly. You can't attack my super chat, people. Anybody that does a super chat, you can not
I'm going to attack Iowa because it's what we do. If we're GoFunding you money to get to the Jet game, don't spend the money on super chats.
It's like, oh, he could have afforded it.
He's going to comment later. A $50 super chat. I sold Dom C's tickets just to comment.
Iowa missed it, but I'm talking about the fact earlier when I was talking about the tailgate party, how I'm going to show up to the tailgate party with the bagel and cream cheese from Staten Island for him. So he could try a real big, fresh, puffy Staten Island bagel.
I hope that it's plural and not just one. I would hate to have to.
I think I'm going to get a bunch of them. I think I'm going to show up with like a bag of bagels and cream cheese or something.
We're going to see Jeremy on a yacht from all of his super chats, and Iowan's going to be like hitchhiking to training camp.
Thank you, Dark Soldier. Appreciate the super chat. Congratulations on 1K. Right back at you, brother. You were here from the very beginning, so I appreciate you. You rode the ride with me.
Shout out to Dark Soldier, man. But I love the just when you like the stream doesn't start, in my opinion, until Dark Soldier comes in and says crew.
Yep.
Shout out to Buffalo. Those two
shout
things.
out to Buffalo Jet fan because the chalk on his chalkboard matches the changing colors on his microphone. Very well done.
Hey, this is why I don't have to watch film. Like, I'm not going to be Joe Blewett. I got a dope-ass microphone. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
We got Scott Wilson here. What's up? I think he moved to Texas, but did you go back? But he was originally Southern California, and I think he may have went back to SoCal. I'm not sure. Let us know where you are. Are you in Texas or are you in SoCal? But you were a fellow California boy for a while. So
that was the $2 for my bagel, Iowans. I love busting balls with that guy.
All right. Oh yeah, we got to finish up the we can finish up the Patriots if you want.
End it. Yeah, let's finish up with the Patriots. Sorry,
I got to get back. I got to get back because I've been scrolling a little bit here.
Okay.
All right, the front office. That's the other category we got hit is the front office. If you want.
So the front office, they're probably going to rank really hard, like top 5. So maybe 4.
Okay.
Patriots front office.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's basically Belichick, right? I would say it's about 6 or 7. It's a little lower than, but it's still top 10, I think, in terms of ESPN.
I feel like you got to. I feel like front office and draft are kind of tied together a little bit, you know.
Yeah, but you're also bringing in
A little bit.
veteran free agents. You're making trades,
Of course.
so it's.
Of course.
I think it's
you can
lower.
be
I
in
think
the
it's like
20s for
12.
the draft. Yeah.
Yeah, good call, Buffalo. They're ranked 11th. All right, so overall, the Patriots get a score of 81.3, 13th in the league. To me, that seems pretty excessively high, but it's really Belichick that's making it. But I think if you look at the quarterback, to me, I think deserves to be in the 20s more than anything. I can't really object to coaching, draft, front office. The roster's fine. I think it's really just the quarterback I have a problem with. I think that's really it. So.
Yeah, you're right, Rob V. One of the best places now to get a bagel for me, I order it online for par baked, frozen. It's true. It's in Queens, Astoria, Queens. It's called the Brooklyn Bagel Company. Wonderful. Take them there. Okay. I'm sorry. Where were they ranked? New England.
13 overall.
I'm surprised. That's low. Yeah. Well, that guy probably isn't isn't as big a Patriots fan because that's what I think it comes down to. These rankings. It depends on their personal feelings toward the team. That's how it sounds to me.
What were the Dolphins overall?
Okay, on to
Buffalo was
Miami
number 1. I know
Dolphins.
that. I saw that screenshot on Instagram today.
Say again?
Buffalo was ranked number 1 with future rankings.
To nobody's surprise. Yeah, we don't need to spend a whole lot of time on the Bills. Okay, the Miami Dolphins. All right, first of all, overall roster minus the quarterback, which, of course, is a very important distinction to make with this franchise.
13.
Okay.
I feel like we're doing the prices right.
Yeah, I'm right
Buffalo,
with.
what is your bid?
I'm right with Nick. I think 13 sounds just about right.
I'm going to say 12 just to be different and awkward.
I'm going to change mine to 14 just to be different.
$1.
I bid $1.
Nick, you're going to play Plinko. No, it's 15. So, yeah, you guys are right in the ballpark, 81.5. Okay, now we're gonna have a little fun. I'm gonna save this. I gotta save quarterback. We're gonna do that one last because I think that's the one a lot of us are gonna be waiting on. Coaching, considering they have it's a pretty tumultuous situation with Brian Flores leaving and McDaniel coming in. Where does the coaching rank?
That's got to be
Wow, he's a brand new coach.
brand new coach. It's got to be
It's important.
30. He's proven nothing. It's got to be down at the bottom.
Yeah, but they call him a genius. I'm going to say 22.
Yeah, he did that about Belichick too. How'd that work out?
27, bottom 5. Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Buffalo gets the extra prize. 27th, right on the
Wow.
nose.
Nice.
27th. Okay, draft.
Well, they
Jalen Waddle was
they
good.
gave away a lot for Tyreek Hill.
Yep.
They've hit though. Holland, he's top 5 safety in the league probably.
I agree with
Wa-
that.
And they
Waddle.
they took Tunsil, they took Fitzpatrick. I mean, they traded them away, but they took guys who are all pro type of players.
Yeah.
Waddle
They-
had 104 catches, set the rookie record last year.
They
I'm
just
thinking-
redid their whole running back room. Yeah,
I'm going
the
to say
whole running
10
back
with all that draft capital that they
I would
have.
go
Like, 'cause you still have the
16.
first
Middle
10.
of the pack, I think 16.
10.
I like that I like that 13 number again. I'm going to split the difference and go 13.
for coaching. We said. I think we said we were on
That was
coaching.
draft, I thought.
Draft.
Okay, yeah, coach was 27. Draft is 31.
Wow.
Wow.
Way at the
They
bottom.
must have not liked giving up the capital for Tyreek, I guess.
Wow.
Look, Miami's got a good
31.
roster. I don't believe in their quarterback, but they got a good roster down there in Miami.
They do. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Front office.
I don't know if your owner is offering to pay for losses. It can't really be ranked too high, right? Front
Yeah, and
office,
I feel like the Brian Flores situation is going to reflect negatively on their front office.
yeah.
I'd say 25.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm around there too, around 25.
I'm going to go 26. I'm going to go one below. So if
Son
it's
of a
lower,
Pretty good.
I hit the prize.
Pretty good, guys. 28. So
Yeah.
these are some very low rankings that they have. Okay, now for the big one. Quarterback. Where are they ranking the Miami Dolphins quarterback?
26.
situation?
24.
26. And by the way, keep in mind they ranked the Jets at 21.
20.
20. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
I feel like they rank 2 higher than Zach Wilson. I do.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Wow. I'm going to stick with 24, but wow.
21 as well. They ranked the Jets and the Dolphins even at quarterback.
All right.
my
Still a lot to prove for each, right? They're not bottom 10
I
guys,
hate
but
that.
there's still a lot questions
Yeah.
to be answered by both.
Yeah, I'll
I
quickly
want to
check.
thank Jets New York 102. I appreciate that comment. That's very nice of you, and I appreciate your super chat from before. Thank you for
Wow.
being a supporter.
That's cool.
And if I could thank John Nolte, who plugged our the Friday night show on my channel in the chat. Thank you, John. Appreciate it.
All right. By the way, I'll give you a couple of quick quarterback rankings, Buffalo, since you asked for those. I try to find a few teams kind of in the area, but if there's a certain team you want me to pull up, I will. Pittsburgh 19 ahead of the Jets, which
That's
to me is
crazy.
very
Jesus
surprising.
Christ.
I thought that was crazy.
That's nuts. It makes
It's a backup and a rookie they have.
Yes, exactly.
It
Are they
makes
bringing
no
back-
sense.
Did they think Ben's still on the roster, particularly Ben from 15 years ago? That must be.
I mean, I don't even know if Mitch Trubisky is better than Joe Flacco. Like, if I had to win one game,
Yeah,
I'm
people get on Mike
I'm a
McCagnon for
Trubisky
drafting. Yeah, people get on McCagnon for drafting Jamal Adams and whatnot instead of Mike Mahomes and Watson. What about the Bears? They took Trubisky. They got a quarterback. Oh my goodness.
I'm a Trubisky guy. I say all the time, he took Matt Nagy's offense to the playoffs twice. Look at you two drinking in unison. That was weird to see. It's like a glitch in the Matrix. Both
That
are
really
doing
happened.
elbows up
Yeah.
and elbows down at the same time.
well, Nick Shine is staying hydrated on the Mitch Trubisky Kool-Aid. All right, let's hear it, Nick.
He took Matt Nagy's offense to the playoffs twice. Like
I did not
name
expect
one
to
of his
do this.
weapons on those two teams he took.
He is sneaky athletic. I feel like, I would rank Zach Wilson ahead of him, personally.
I would
But-
rank him ahead, Wilson ahead of him also, but I would take him over Tua right now.
You know
Not
what?
crazy.
You know what? Zach Wilson just has to come out this year, take the big step forward, and just shut all the doubters up. He just needs
I
to
can't
do
wait,
it. He
dude.
needs to shut them up.
All right,
I mean,
Buffalo asked a question earlier. Let me ask you guys one now.
Go ahead.
What's the one trait that you need to see the most improvement from Zach Wilson? Jack, go ahead. That lead off. The one trait that you're like, he's got to improve this to take that step this year.
I'll go first if you want me to. Short pass accuracy. Short pass accuracy.
Yeah, well, I was gonna. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Short pass accuracy.
I would say processing information faster and moving through his reads quicker.
That kind of goes hand in hand with mine. Getting the ball out on time, right? Trust your eyes, get the ball out on time. The preparation during the week is going to help process that. So getting the ball out on time, especially when we got the guys that can do yards after the catch, getting that ball out on time to the right guy on the run is the biggest key for me. Because if we're going to run the ball the way we all think we're going to run the ball, that is going to take our team to the next level. The combination of the run game with getting the ball out on time to these, what I think are going to be amazing weapons at wide receiver.
Yeah. I think too, we did notice when the backups came in, like there were some windows open with wide receivers. When Mike White and Joe Flacco and even Johnson came in, the games against Cincinnati and Indy and the second half against New England, if you take a 3-step drop and you trust your eyes and you trust your arm, there were some holes to be had. I think Zach Wilson, open at BYU looks like the dude calling for a fair catch wide open in the end zone, right? Open in the NFL is a different ballgame. And I think that's a feel thing. I think, you know what, to me, if Zach Wilson throws, a good amount of picks this year, I can live with it. I'd rather him do that, throw some picks, and the flip side of that be more big plays and him learning what open is and being more aggressive and trusting that freaking arm. Zach Wilson, there's probably 7 or 8 guys in the NFL who have Zach Wilson's arm talent. So I want to see him take off with his legs. There were, he had a couple big plays, but there were times where he left chunks of yards on the field. Now, I'd rather him start that way than be a scrambler and have to rein him in. I'd rather him start being a pocket passer and teach him to be more aggressive and opportunistic with his legs. But I want to see Zach Wilson take more chances in tight windows. I want to see him take off with his legs more. I want him to be more aggressive too.
If you're doing a 3-step drop, planting that third foot, and then getting the ball out on time, and the linebacker makes a great play to cut off the slant, I'm not mad at that interception. That's a credit to that guy. You're doing a timing route, it gets jumped. Okay, they made a good play. I don't want to see you drop, move around, pocket rolls out, you're off, and then you throw an interception, because now that's just a bad decision, right? That's not a timing play. That's trying to make something out of nothing. Yeah. But I think he got past that at the end of the last year when he didn't throw interceptions in his last 5 or 6 games. I think he was throwing it away. I think he was keeping it. I think he was running out of bounds. So if he can keep that progress that he showed at the end of the season and now add getting the ball out on time, like, we don't want Lamar Jackson. We want Aaron Rodgers in the backfield, right? When Rodgers leaves the pocket, he's still capable of running for a first down, but he's looking to kill you with the arm first while he's still moving. And I think that's what we want. We don't want a guy who's going to run and just look to run and dump out of the pocket and put himself in bad position. Lamar Jackson, to me, most of his incomplete passes are because when he drops, he'll dip and duck and he'll get himself in a bad throwing position and then still try to throw it instead of staying true to himself and releasing it from standing upright. A lot of his inaccuracies and incompletions are from bad body posture because he's looking to be a runner. Rodgers gets out. Rodgers still loaded, ready to go the whole time he's running until he crosses the line of scrimmage. And even then, you see he's got the ball in his hand as he's running, looking to gun it.
Yeah, that's a good point. You got to hang in there, and you got to hang in there. You got to step up and let it rip. I feel like he didn't. One thing I want to improve on too is him like climbing the pocket. Sometimes he kind of kept dropping back, and did a little lazy, kind of flicking it off of his back foot, and he can get away with that at BYU. But when you think about the Tampa Bay game, when he would climb the pocket and drive the ball into windows, those like on those in breaking routes, and you like those daggers and those deep digs and those crossers, that's where he's gonna live. Those 8 to 20 yards in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
That's the money zone for him.
Yeah.
And you know what helps in that zone? Tight ends who can catch. Now we got those two.
And when the tight ends go out and they open up the linebackers, and now you bring guys with Moore and Wilson speed, and you're challenging the safeties. If you're playing one safety high against this roster this year, you're in deep shit, in my opinion. Because we're going to be able to slay you either underneath, or we got the speed to get vertical over the top, and you're going to be able to pick and choose what side of the field you want to go to.
Yeah, or you can play a two deep shell, and we'll run the ball down your throat.
Exactly. Yep. We're going to be able to beat complementary football, right? We talked about it earlier. I know you guys were talking about March as I was getting set up. We talked about it then. Complementary football. The defense is going to complement the offense, and the run game is going to complement the pass game. It's going to be fun to see. Oh, and I saw Iowan something earlier about the wife. Just so you know, Iowan, when you come out here, Zach Wilson's not going to be available at the game. He's going to be on a family emergency in Iowa because he knows your house is open. It'll be the Mike White game, take two.
I gotta say, because I know we have a lot of Berrios fans, and I like Berrios a lot, but I think there's got to be, with all the weapons we have, there has to be one player who is going to have a lot less yardage and whatnot, and a lot less targets than what we're thinking. And I think it really could be Berrios.
100%.
I really don't know how much playing time he's going to have. I think returning is going to be his number one job. But we don't need Berrios to be what he was last year, where, Davis was maybe the most targeted in the first half. But I remember the first 2 or 3 games, nearly every Jets podcast I would listen to and every show I would watch, they would talk about, oh my gosh, how Braxton Berrios cannot be our most targeted wide receiver. So I don't think we're going to see quite so many gadget plays this year, because we don't need to do them as much as we did last year, because we're making up for a dearth of talent because of all the injuries and the offensive line struggles that we had for a while, and Zach being inexperienced. So I don't think we're going to see as gimmicky an offense as we were used to last year. So
Agreed.
that's my thoughts on that.
If he's anywhere near the amount of targets he got, it means trouble again. It means their guys got injured, and he was stepping up into a role that he wasn't expected to. And that's why he only got the 2 years, $12 million. People were talking about $8-9 million a year. He's not going to be on the field that much. As he's going to. Here's when I see him playing, holding first down, 1st and 20. Okay, we go 4 wide. He comes in. Those long down situations when we go 4 wide, he's not going to be a part of the base. He's not going to be a part of 3rd and 6s a lot, because we're going to keep that run pass option, right? Like you said, you go too deep, we might hit you with a draw play or an RPO, and now with either Carter or Hall, and then keep Zach with like a rollout. So I think we're in a lot of trouble if Berrios is anywhere near 40 catch mark.
I think he'll sneak into the game for gadget plays and things like that. And like you said, there are plays where we'll bring out 4 or 5 receivers, 4 receivers. We don't want to see too much of that. Usually that means you're behind. But It could mean sometimes you're not behind. Sometimes you're just in a 2-minute offense and you're in shotgun and you just have everybody going out for passes and you're trying to run, work your way down the field because everyone knows you're not going to run. Right. I think that I wouldn't want to see. I think that if our offense is successful and works the way it's supposed to, we're not going to see Zach in a successfully run offense. If things are going well, he should be under 30. He shouldn't be throwing over 30 passes in a game when this offense is working the way it should. What say you guys?
The one caveat I'll give to that, Jeremy, is that I think the Jets are going to use the short passing game as an extension of the running game. So he may not have 30 dropbacks like where he's looking down the field and having to make reads, but I think there is, one of the best attributes about this Jets team is the amount of guys that have yards after catch and yards after contact ability. That's why if Zach Wilson is just completing his passes, these guys are going to make plays. Michael Carter, 2.3 yards after contact, broke the most tackles of any Jets running back per snap since Chris Ivory. Elijah Moore, we know, has yak ability. Corey Davis, he's a big, strong body. He averaged, close to 15 yards per reception. He's got yak ability. Garrett Wilson had some of the most absurd yak numbers of any college receiver in a long time. And then, Breece Hall. Tyler Conklin and his wiggle as is the new legitimate football term that we've added to the dictionary. So to me, like those screens and those jet pitches that count as passes, those are going to be a huge part of the run game. The Jets, on terms of run percentage last year, were 30th in the league. They ran the ball. And now, score dictated a lot of that. You got to throw the ball when you're down 17 in the second half. Absolutely. But I think they'll be in the middle of the league, right where Green Bay is, low 40s, and use that short passing game as kind of a quasi-run game.
I have no problem with that, if that's how it's used and that's the explanation.
And I'm sure this point has been made, and I agree with it. And what does that come down to when you have these short screens, these short routes? It's the quarterback recognizing what the defense is giving them, recognizing what is open, not getting locked on one target, and putting the ball there and putting it there accurately. And that's why I went back to short pass accuracy earlier on. John Nolte, I would love for that to happen. I just think that there's 3 very good wide receivers, 2 tight ends, and 2 running backs who are ahead of Berrios. Berrios is a very unique weapon, but you have to use him selectively. You can't. I don't believe he's a player that we're going to use as an every down player. If that happens, great.
No.
It's just not what I'm envisioning.
If Wilson explodes this year, you let Davis go next year, and then you can elevate Berrios into that role. If Wilson has one of these Beckham, Chase, Jefferson type of rookie years where you know right away that's alpha 1, he's going to be a top dog, you can let him be number 1, more number 2, and then you put Berrios in the slot, and then you can have your Edelman type. But I think a lot of it depends on Wilson and Moore becoming 1A, 1B. Then you can have fun with the slot, right? You don't need to pay that $14 million for a slot guy then.
That's fair. I think with Berrios, like I'll say this about Berrios, I agree with it where everyone said. I think like the thing is, we run 11 personnel most of the time. Who are you taking off the field to get him on? You know, you're not going to be taking off Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, or Garrett Wilson significant snaps to get him off the field. I'll say this though, in the beginning of the year, like, you know, at home against Baltimore, at Cleveland, it's a kind of a crazy take on its face. I'll admit it, because Garrett Wilson's the 10th overall pick. But if it's, you know, the fourth quarter at home against the Baltimore Ravens and it's 3rd and 6, I might want the ball to go to Braxton Berrios over Garrett Wilson. As crazy as that may sound, I don't know if there's a guy on this team that I trust more to make like a tough, contested catch over the middle than Braxton Berrios. I mean, what he did last year, he doesn't drop the ball. So in the beginning of the year, maybe that like trust factor could factor into it. But at the end of the day, Garrett Wilson is going to, in short order, just become far too talented to have Braxton Berrios getting reps over him. But and the thing you mentioned, Nick, you know, it's kind of a two-way street. It's a good way either way, because if Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, you know, we can squabble who's wide receiver 1. Look, we got 2 damn good football players. Who cares? You know, wide receiver 1 is a title for fans. But the flexibility we have for them both being on the rookie contract is then we can afford to actually pay like a Corey Davis, and our overall wide receiver room cap hit is not that bad. My gut is Joe Douglas probably moves on and spends that money in the trenches, but it gives us a lot of flexibility.
Yeah. Now, can I just correct Dark Soldier? I appreciate you putting in the work on that. There's just one error in it. Quarterbacks are rated on yards per attempt, not yards per catch. So it would be the 7.5 times 30. Now you're looking about 220 per game. It's not 7.5 a catch. It's 7.5 attempt, which is good numbers. That's the only error there.
Right. The other thing to keep in mind is, like Frankie from Flatbush will say, we're not looking for him to get 63%. Without all those drop passes last year and a little bit of time from blocking, he technically should have been at 62, 60% anyway. We're looking for 65, 66%. That's what we're really looking for from Zach this year, based on the fact that his number from his rookie year is a little low when you consider the amount of drop passes. If you change that to just average in the league, that would have picked him up. And then if you gave him some blocking, I mean, we can't just ignore the fact that there were, you know, he started the season with like less than 2 seconds before he was under pressure. It was kind of ridiculous. If you look at the quarterback he was after he came back from injury, you're looking at a quarterback that I don't think it's completely out of reality that he could be at a 65-66% completion rate. I really
Not
don't.
at all. Jeremy, you hit it right on the head. Like it's not just he has to improve from 55 to 65, because that seems like a bit. He has to improve from, what should have been 62 to 65. And I know the shoulda, woulda, couldas. I understand that, but it's real. Like, you could go back and watch the games. I've been rewatching every single game last year. And I've gone through the first three. I've gone through Carolina, New England, and Denver. And I was trying to focus on the offensive line, and I counted 9 times in those first 3 games where Zach Wilson was hit by an unblocked defender with less than 2 seconds after snapping the ball. And there's a lot of times he Houdini'd his way out of it. Like, the fact that he didn't get seriously hurt last year is a blessing. It was open season. This kid has a third eye and a spidey sense, and thank God. Because if he was a sitting duck, he'd probably have like concussions and like spine injuries. It was that bad. The Jets' offensive line weren't getting turnstile. There weren't turnstiles with our starters, but the missed assignments. You guys, we got into it on my stream. I actually made a video about it too, where you'll see like first plays of games, multiple guys up the B gap, an unblocked guy off the slot. I mean, 3 times a game. That can't happen. You can't. That's the one thing. Developing a young quarterback. Your wide receivers aren't good. So be it. That's life in the NFL. Your defense is leaking points in the fourth quarter. So be it. Your coach isn't great. Your division is tough. So be it. If you're the number overall pick, go get it. But the one exception is if you can't even get through your reads. If you're getting hit as soon as you snap the ball, nobody can overcome that. We've seen it ruin. David Carr is the best example. We'll never know. Like, you cannot overcome that as a young quarterback. You just can't.
And we know what escapability Wilson has. He's elusive in the pocket. I see him a little bit more on the Russell Wilson side than I maybe do the Aaron Rodgers side, because I think he's that shifty. He's that quick. He has really impressive agility. He could escape one guy, but when you have like 2 guys coming at one time, well, you're probably going to get hit, or you got to throw the ball away pretty much immediately.
Yeah.
So,
Adam, I'll give you a name.
And a rookie guard, you can take advantage of that, right?
Yes, absolutely. To improve, and I'll give you a name, Y2K, and not on the overall athleticism. I get it. This player is a much better overall athlete than Zach Wilson, but specifically in the pocket and the escapability, the third eye, how quick he flips his hips around. Kyler Murray, a little bit of that. The way he's not, once he takes off, and Kyler Murray's like a track star. Zach's not that, but that within the pocket mobility,
I can see it.
He's got some Kyler Murray.
Yeah, he's shifty. Something you said earlier, Buffalo, which I forgot to comment because the chat took over and we got off topic. When you talked about him in that Tampa Bay throw, right, that he threw over Whitehead's head, and Whitehead himself said, this is a guy who's going to make big time throws. I was amazed by that throw. Stepping up and climbing the pocket. Now that you got Tomlinson and a year 2 Vera Tucker, that's going to happen a lot more. The pocket should be cleaner in theory, right? With Becton coming back, Fant there playing the way he did last year, Tomlinson, now Vera Tucker in year 2. McGovern played a lot better last year, as we've all noted, after Van Rotten went out. The pocket should be clean more often. All of our tight ends are good blockers. So if we got to chip a guy, an elite rusher, and then get out, it's just a combination of everything everything's going to rise at the same time. Like I always say, the water level is going to get better. The offensive water level is going to go a lot higher this season. We're going to have a lot of moments where we pick up a blitzer. Carter knocks someone who's coming in clean, and we deliver that 3rd and 8 that gets us in game-winning field goal range. There's going to be little things that happen that we've been deprived of for so many years as Jets fans offensively.
Truthfully, big picture, when was the last time the Jets fan base collectively was this optimistic going into a season? I feel like it's been at least a decade. It has been a long freaking time.
2015, Marshall and Decker.
Maybe
Marshall, Decker,
I think I would go back even further before that. I think it was because Fitzpatrick. How excited were we about Ryan Fitzpatrick going?
Well, that was supposed to be Geno, don't forget.
Well, the thing is, I feel like we knew that team was rented.
Geno.
We knew that team was rented because it was so top heavy, older, and expensive. and a lot of those guys were leases. But now we're talking about these draft picks. We're not excited about this year. We're excited about this decade. And that probably since after, Mark Sanchez and Rex's first AFC championship run, probably.
I would go back to Brett Favre. I felt like we were with them. We were in the mix with Rex, but we were never the team. And obviously, we're nowhere near that. But I think we see a legitimate vision where we could become one of the true legit teams in a couple of years, where we have that respect, where you see random people walking around in Jets jerseys, like out of nowhere, like all over the country, where our players are featured on commercials. They want us on Sunday Night Football. They want us on Monday Night Football. They want to send us to Europe. They want all this stuff. Now, at the end of the day, we know what it's all about: sustained winning and winning a freaking Lombardi Trophy. That is what we all want. But I'm sorry, what's up, Jeremy?
No, I was trying to chime in right as you finished. So finish your sentence.
I'm good. You're good. Go ahead.
I was just going to say this is the most excited I've been personally. It's not like you said. There's a difference between for the season and for the future, right? It's like two things. Like I've had many seasons I was excited for. After the '98 season, before Testaverde got hurt, when we went into that year, we were excited. In the 2010-11 years, we were excited because we had a chance to win the Super Bowl. 2015, there's a part of me that was worried because I don't like building teams like that. I don't like getting missionary, like guys out of their prime or guys from other teams and patching together a team through free agency. It's never been my thing, but I was excited to see Decker and them play. It's not like I wasn't excited to see them play, but we didn't really have the quarterback to really make me believe. This feeling that I have now, what's different about it is I'm not thinking, we have a chance to compete and win a Super Bowl. This has me excited because I think we're on a path where we could be finally a team that's competing for a Super Bowl for a long time.
We're at the beginning of sustaining it, right? Like we see sustainable success in our future.
Right.
It's not a Mike Tannenbaum trade everything for a small window. This is let's be the Packers, let's be the Steelers, let's be the Patriots.
Right.
The Ravens.
Let's be there every single year. Guys will come and go. The core will be the core. The front office will have the same. I've said it for years. You know what the Steelers have had? They've had 3 coaches for all these years. They keep continuity between the sideline and the front office. You're never changing schemes. You're never going from 4-3 to 3-4. You're bringing in the tight end who's a good red zone threat and the third down guy. You're bringing in offensive linemen. You're getting a solid running back. You get athletic wide receivers, and you bring in your linebackers who can get after the damn quarterback. The blueprint in Pittsburgh hasn't changed since 1960s. So when you're not changing your blueprint and you're just changing the pieces on the paper, you can always succeed. So like Buffalo asked earlier, you sign up Joe Douglas now. Like, you want a lifetime deal? We like what you're doing. You're keeping us in good cap numbers. You're drafting guys the right way. You're trading guys that don't fit what we do. The organization's yours, bro. Run it. And Woody will tweet out videos about uniforms. Like, that's what we need. We got the football guy running football, and that's what's going to make us great. That's what's going to be able to become a winner year in and year out. To be a team that's picked to win the division. To be a team that's picked to win the AFC.
And when we lose a player, we'd be like, okay, that's fine. I have the confidence in this front office. They know exactly how they're going to replace it. Maybe with like a comp pick, because, hey, when was the last time we had a comp draft pick? I feel like it's been years since we had one of those.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why the Patriots and the Ravens sustain. Yes, that's how they sustain these things, is because they hit on those mid-round picks.
Yes.
The Patriots maybe not as much, but a lot of these teams really know how to do it, and that's how you can get good young players for sustainable contracts, and you have these other players who are showing them what to do. They say, here's how we do business, fall in line or get out.
And then you draft your mid-round guys successfully who fill in for your free agents leaving, and now your free agent intake is less than your free agent outtake. You lose 6 guys, you bring in 4, you get the comp picks because you're drafting replacements year in and year out.
And it's felt like it's been a rite of passage where we would just bust on every mid-round pick. I mean, we get a mid-round pick and be like, okay, fine. But we talk about the first round disappointments, the second round dearth that we had for so many years, but we just could not get a mid round pick. At best, our best mid round picks would be Jordan Jenkins, that level of player, and Jordan Jenkins doesn't seem like it's been a decade since he was here. He was probably our best pass rusher at one point.
Him and Henry Anderson in 2019.
And Lorenzo
no
Moulton,
exaggeration.
like 2 or 3.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, and of course, Aaron Maven, we always still had hope for him. But John, that's what it would come to.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I read a comment and right away my brain just spit out. John's latest comment said, "But Pittsburgh it didn't hurt. They went from Cowher to Tomlin."
Not at all.
But neither one of those guys are calling offense or defense. I think Cowher called plays for a little bit, but he eventually gave that up. When you have the same system going in and out, your head coach can just be your head coach, and he can be your team manager, right? Like Salah is now for us. Tomlin doesn't call offense or defense. Salah's not calling offense or defense. It's the feeding factory of what the front office has given you. It's the promoting of coaches in the same system. Tomlin fired Haley the one year, and then they promoted the guy right behind him. They don't bring in people from outside the organization. It's a coaching feeding factory within the organization. So the face of it, the head coach can stay the same, but all the guys doing the work behind the scenes and coaching up the players and creating the systems and calling the plays are all from the same minor league system, so to say, right? They're all coming up together. So it makes it so much easier for the players. We've changed system after system after system. I think Darnold had 3 offensive coordinators in 3 years, right?
Yes.
So how the hell are you going to succeed like that? That's a recipe for failure. We're finally putting together a recipe for success, which sounds crazy stupid for a Jet fan to say, but we're doing it. And shame on Jeremy for not getting the memo. We're all wearing black shirts tonight.
Yes,
I noticed. I want to say that also, if you think we're excited now, let's say this season we come in and we win 8-9 games, and then let's say the next year after that we go to the playoffs and make it to the divisional rounds or something.
Playoffs.
Right? Go to the playoff. The year after that, like we win 8-9 next year, and then we hit the playoffs. But let's say we lose a heartbreaker in the playoffs, but we're starting to really pop. But we lose to a great team in a really close game, kind of like Buffalo, the way they lost to Kansas City. Then imagine going into the 24-25 season, that excitement to say we got better each year. Zach explodes. We go to the playoffs, and he's looking like a franchise quarterback. And now all the guys are veterans. We're right in that prime, and boom. How exciting is that going to be?
I've said since the Jamal Adams trade, 2024 AFC favorites.
I've got one concern. What are we going to do for those 3 months between like January and April? Because it's all about mock drafts. What are we going to do without having 800 first-round picks?
Imagine going to the Super Bowl the second week of February and only having 2.5 months of mock drafts. That sounds like the worst thing in the world for a Jet fan.
And everything is in the end of the 20s. It's like, oh, man, all these guys are going. Yeah. These aren't fun anymore. I miss when we could trade up.
I'm usually doing Jets mock drafts for next April now.
I'm aware of that.
Done one yet. I did one the weekend that the draft ended. That's Sunday night. That's because I had programmed myself for months. All right, it's time to lay down for bed. Your brain's going 1,000 miles an hour. Do a mock draft. This will clear your head. And
I'm assuming you took Will Anderson, right?
No, Will Anderson went.
Oh, it's only because you weren't able to. Okay, got it.
Yeah, no, I would have took Will Anderson in a heartbeat.
I figured you would have traded up, or you would have found
it. Had us 5th, so Will Anderson and Jalen Carter were both gone. I took the wide receiver from Ohio State, Petit Ferror.
Another wide receiver from Ohio State, huh?
Oh yeah, build it up,
all
baby.
Right,
they're becoming a factory now. Alabama and Ohio State, 2 all-time great running college programs, have now become 2 of the elite passing programs the last decade.
Rob V, me too. That's all.
Oh, yeah. And not by trading up to get Dustin Keller. That was the last time we had, I think Keller was the 32nd pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
We traded back up into round 1. and got Keller at 32. 31 or 32. If I'm correct.
Yeah, the kid from Ohio State, that Jackson, I don't know how to say his last name, Jackson Smith in Jigba. He's supposed they're saying he's going to grade out higher than Garrett Wilson did.
Oh,
So,
that's who it is. The height.
Yeah.
Yeah. Petit is the lineman. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's
Petit Frere is the offensive tackle from this year. It's Jackson Smith in Jigba, I think is his name.
Yes, that's what I knew. It was a hyphenated name, and I think
Yeah.
they have 2 hyphenated names on that offense with the lineman and the receiver.
Yeah, I mean the thing about it though is it really, and I know it's lazy to boil what has been, all these rankings of Joe Douglas, the lifetime deal, Robert Saleh, all the rookies, but to me, right as it stands this year, there's 9 teams that have a chance of hoisting the Lombardi Trophy, and that's because there's 9 signal callers who can do it. Look, I can tell you right now, one of these 9 teams is winning the Super Bowl because it's one of these 9 quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow, Matt Stafford, Lamar Jackson I'd put in there, you could disagree with me, and Russell Wilson. That's what I was saying.
Justin Herbert?
Justin Herbert, and Russell Wilson. Those 9.
Okay.
Those 9. That's it. So once he gets to Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, Jimmy G, Kirk Cousins, Derek Carr, Derek Carr, nope, not making
What
it.
about,
So,
but Nick would put Mitch Trubisky in that list.
Mitch Trubisky might make it. But so if
because
Zach,
the quarterback doesn't matter in Pittsburgh.
Najee
Harris will take them, not Mitch Trubisky.
And you can build a culture that will keep you relevant and build a floor to how bad you can be regardless of quarterback play. We saw it in Pittsburgh when they had Duck Hodges and they went 8-8. We saw it last year in Baltimore when they were down to their 3rd string quarterback and they were in the hunt for a wild card spot at the end. And if you crush the roster and everything else and you have an okay quarterback like Jimmy G, you can be in the NFC Championship game.
That was me. I was liking the video in the stream. I'm sorry.
Yeah, thumbs up. But yeah, to me, I don't, and I said it, I don't know if it was on this show or my own. I think the days of Trent Dilfer is the big one, a Trent Dilfer Super Bowl, or even like a Joe Flacco when he won it.
Brett Johnson. Yeah.
Brett, I think those days might be over. I think if you don't have a top 10, 12 at the very least quarterback, I think your ceiling, even if you have everything else go right, is probably in a conference championship loss.
Can I counter that?
Sure.
I love your take. I agree with it. 95% of me agrees with it. The 5% of me that doesn't is the Jet fan who just watched an average mediocre Jimmy Garoppolo miss one open pass to win a Super Bowl with a run game and a defense, knowing now that we have that same run game mentality and that same defense being built, where if we get mediocre play from Wilson, we could be good enough to win it with the run game and the defense. So I know the idea is to build it around an elite quarterback, and I get that. I'm with that. I hope Zach becomes that. But I think if he becomes a 10 to 12 quarterback in the league, I think we're good enough to win with the run game and the defense that we're going to be putting on the field. We're going to
might win one.
We're going to be able to have to cover on the back end. We're going to be able to sustain drives with run. And then if we get the ball out on time, we're going to have great yard after the catch ability. And those are all keys to winning. You need all 4 of those keys to win if you don't have the elite quarterback.
It's not an all or nothing thing either.
The elite quarterback.
But
I'll be fascinated to see how Cleveland does to sort of test that theory, because they have such a good roster, except their quarterback is such an enormous question mark right now with how long Watson's going to be out. I will be very interested to see what their level of play is, and thank God we got them week 2 and not like week
2
12.
years ago, though, they almost beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. I think they lost 26-20. Baker had that run around the end for the touchdown when he reached out to the pylon.
Yeah.
That was their
And then he got
Baker
hurt next year and was never the same, and they gave up on him just that quickly.
Yeah, Baker was solid that year.
This league is so fickle. Sports is so fickle.
Especially
sometimes.
Cleveland. Like, who do they think they were to I don't know. I mean, Baker, whatever. Maybe that's a conversation for a different stream. But the one pushback I'll put to your pushback, Nick, is yes, like the 49ers, if everything goes perfectly right and you have that average quarterback and you have a really healthy season and you have really great draft picks who haven't been paid yet and there's an injury to another team in the playoffs, and all the stars align, you can get there and you can get close. And they came up short because they didn't have that quarterback. If they had one of those guys I mentioned, they would have hit Emmanuel Sanders in the end zone and they'd have a ring. But the thing is, when you have one of those guys I mentioned, you're in it every year. You can overcome injuries. You can overcome one of your draft pick gets busted.
And if
you
you
can
can't
overcome
run the ball,
a
play
free
defense,
agent
or do everything
Right.
I listed, that quarterback can he
It
can make
covers
up for those
all the
deficiencies.
warts.
Yes. We could do it a different way, the way the 49ers made it there, by having all four of those things together.
Dude, and if we have the last couple of years that the 49ers have and we don't win a Super Bowl, so be it. I mean, I'm signing up for that in a second. Like, you know what I mean?
Maybe we
Maybe
look
right?
like that Giants team that beat the Patriots, where they beat everybody down with that pass rush. Maybe that was the foundation of their team. That was their strength. That could be our strength too.
You always have a
I
chance.
think the best you can ask a GM to do and a staff to do, really, is, and this is how you end up winning a Super Bowl or multiple Super Bowls, is just put a competitive team on the field consistently year after year.
Oh, no.
That's a chance. That's
Wait,
competitive.
That's not
You
new.
know, so
No, Bill Walsh died years ago.
Yeah, I know. Wait, why did I react like that?
what?
I have no idea. I don't know. It's like, still
Oh
get shot.
no! Oh,
Yeah, the way he did it was
Bill
like
Walsh
breaking
died years
news.
ago.
yeah.
You're absolutely
So-
right, Jeremy. I know where you're going. You
Yeah,
keep
it's
buying
about-
lottery tickets.
It's about
Right.
it's about putting your team in a position to have a chance to win. And that's why when we try to go for it by renting a team like in 2015, if it doesn't work, you go to crap. That's not the way that we're going to finally get there. We're going to get there by being like Pittsburgh, like Baltimore, like have a good team that gives you a shot every year, and eventually the pieces will come together. And sometimes, like if Zach was to go beyond our wildest dreams, that like Tom Brady did for New England, that's how, or Patrick Mahomes for Kansas City, that's how you put yourself in a position where you could win 3 out of 6 Super Bowls, in 6 years, because someone like Zach Wilson goes crazy and hits the highest ceiling that we could dream of. But other than that, you want to get a Super Bowl ring, maybe 2. Compete every year for 10 years. Give yourself a chance in the playoffs. Get to the playoffs every year, and eventually you get your Super Bowl. That's the way I want to do it.
That's how the Ravens got one. You just keep buying tickets to the dance, and eventually you get lucky.
Let's
I
be
wanna
real. We're
thank
Jets
Daniel.
fans. If
I
we
wanna
win a
thank
Super
Daniel
Bowl by
for
never
that.
scoring an offensive touchdown, and our defense holds everyone to field goals, and Braxton Berrios takes 4 touchdowns back a game, and we win games 28-12, we'll take the goddamn Super Bowl.
We don't care.
We're not going to say we didn't score enough points on offense.
Yeah.
We'll take the Super Bowl.
And Jacob DeGrom throws a pitch in 2022.
Oh boy.
Thank you, Daniel Faust. Thank you.
Daniel
so
is
much.
the man.
Buffalo, I figured he'd be a good fantasy flyer. I could draft like the 21st round. I'm like, yeah, let me stash him on IR just in case. Yeah.
Oh, can I plug the fantasy idea that I have, Jared? While he just brought up fantasy.
Sure, but thank you, Daniel. Again, I just want to make it really clear that I really
that's cool.
appreciate it. I'm still getting used to getting super chats, so you understand. I really want to make people understand how much I appreciate it. So,
Jeremy, let me
No,
take care of
you
this
can
for you.
tell.
To quote Jay Gasman, super chats cut the line. Go ahead, Nick.
No, you could tell, like how we mentioned earlier, with how genuine Salah and JD are. You could tell how genuine you are with getting, and Buffalo too, from your show earlier. You could tell that you guys are like genuinely appreciative. So that's awesome. It's awesome to see. From knowing where you guys were to where you guys are now is awesome to be a small little part of. So it's fun for me to watch my friends do well.
it'll be you. So,
On my channel on Friday nights, we do the hangout, which you guys have both mentioned. It's called Proud New York Jets Fans. I'm going to do a fantasy football league. We could do it for free. We could have as many divisions as 12 as we want. We'll have different commissioners in each league. But I figure we do like a big fantasy football league amongst us. The championship will be whoever scores the Super Bowl the week of each division championship. Whoever's the highest scoring team overall would be the overall Super Bowl winner. So if you're not a member already, I just put it in the chat. So please subscribe, join. We'll have all the information coming in on there. And, a lot of these, like you guys have both said, a lot of the viewers are all the same from channel to channel. So, we got a good cast of characters who would join up and make the leagues fun.
like it. You have a brilliant person. It's just the funniest, best guy that comes on your Friday show. I can't remember his name. It's this bald guy. Some people say he has an egghead.
Is it Robert Saleh?
That's Yeah. I feel like he has like access to my channel now and just comes in whenever he wants. I don't even have to invite him anymore.
That's your fault. Sports 001. Offense takes you to a championship, but defense wins you championship. Well, thank
Amen.
you for coming into our chat. I don't know if you came from Buffalo's channel, but it's the first time I've seen you here. So thanks for joining the conversation. Appreciate you. And I kind of like that. I kind of offense takes you to the championship, but defense wins the championship.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. It's kind of true in baseball too, right? It's like you score a lot of runs, you'll get there into the playoffs. But then when you want to make the run, it goes.
It's your bullpen.
Yeah.
You go to your top 3 pitchers in your bullpen. That's what really determines who has the best top 3 pitchers and the better bullpen. That's who always, what always seems to carry the team. So yeah, I like it. So, but I appreciate that.
But what's funny about defense, you can be horrific throughout the season. And the reason I bring this up, I think it was the 2011 Super Bowl or one of the times the Giants played the Patriots. They were ranked 30 and 31 in defense that year. And then it was a 17-14 Super Bowl. I think it was the first year because the Patriots, when they went 18-0, they were giving up a ton of points because they were scoring so damn quick, and then they were in preventing a lot in the second half. So that was the year where it was a low-scoring Super Bowl, and the Giants proved it twice. If you can get home with 4, you have a chance to beat anybody. And that's what this scheme is going to be built on, is getting to the quarterback with 4. Sure, you might gash us up the middle for 5 yards, but then when it's time to throw, we're getting to you, and it's going to be 4th and 13, and you got to punt.
Yeah. I want to thank Jet King. Thank you. I'll take that. Congratulations. I think everybody here had that you're watching on your screen had something to do with it. Nick, first, obviously, Adam Watsu-K99 was started with, probably week 3 of the Wacky Wednesday show. He was a guest. I had him on, asked him to be a co-host. So he took the entire journey with me. Nick joined and gave me he's kind of like the muscle. We needed our big guy. And then Buffalo.
I thought I brought looks to the table. You're always telling me I bring muscle, so this is actually very demoralizing.
Well, you
bring looks. We just don't know what kind of looks.
You're a good, beefy looking, good man. But and then Buffalo added legitimacy by giving me a great collaborative partner. Like somebody who's awesome and talented that collaborates, and it's like, so everybody here, it's a congratulations really to all of us, because I wouldn't have done it alone. I wouldn't have been able to. I probably would be off YouTube by now if it wasn't for all you guys. So, yeah, it's a congratulations.
And the people in the comments, like you guys, I would have quit a million times if it wasn't like guys like Soldier or Daniel Faust, or, I'm not gonna name everybody because I'd miss a bunch of people, but people who were there, in the deadest of dead seasons, showing up, even just like, great video when I know the video sucked when I was starting out, but you still said it was a great video because you support the Jets. And, it's interesting when I see someone who's a Jets fan, like there's just a baseline of like how much I know about you. It's like we're almost friends to an extent a little bit. Like, can you tell me, oh, I grew up on Long Island, I'm a Jets fan. It's like, I know your life. You know what I mean? And then when I see one out in the wild, like out in Buffalo, like I was on a vacation. We went through Central New York, a rest stop, a Wayne Corbett jersey. My wife already knew. I'm like, I got to talk to this guy for like 2 hours. Like we're going to be here a while. So thank you to you guys in the chat. Jets fans are the best. That's the only good thing Joe Douglas inherited from this team that was worth anything was its fans.
Great.
Yeah, I want to say, it's true. Nick right now is only 190, but 190 is very good for when he started his channel.
No, they're talking about my weight because in Buffalo's channel before,
you were
said I'm 6'2", 190. I could teach you Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but Nick Shine can't. So I commented as a joke, I'm 6'2", 190 also.
It's certainly not your cholesterol, but that's not.
Nick,
I wish to God my blood sugar would get down to 190.
Nick, how many subs are you at?
Today, I had a meatball parm, a chicken parm.
No.
He's at like 150 or 160.
How many subscribers you at? 150, 160?
160 something. I think 3 guys just joined.
probably around that, like at the point that the length of time you've been doing this. So it's like totally, it's hard, guys. The first few hundred is so hard. There's so much grinding because a lot of people will watch a video from you and they'll see you with the 150 subs and they don't subscribe. They think it's
Yeah,
just
they don't give you a chance.
thing. They don't give it a chance. So what happens is
and then when you see a video in 2 weeks and it's up 100, you're like, all right, what am I missing?
Right. So you have to grind and grind and grind and grind. But I'm going to ask you now. You see how good he is. You see he's a major part of my channel. He always has been from the very first time he came onto my show. He's been great on Weapons Hot. Nick is the real deal. But he started his channel later. We need to get that channel up. We need to get his subs up. So at some point, he's putting the link in the chat. Make sure you just go over there real quick, sub, then of course come back. It's proud New York Jets fan. The link keeps going in the chat. Make sure you sub him up. I'm on. Adam's on his show a lot. Buffalo's on his show a lot. It's the same crew, same quality. Friday nights we're a little bit more crazy. We have a little bit more wildness, but that's part of it, right? We're gonna have times where we talk serious about the Jets. We're gonna have times where we're kind of in the middle. We're gonna have times where we totally go off the wire and give you something you'll tell your grandchildren about. So. Make sure you sub to his channel, and also, of course, New York Sports Wikimedia. Not only will Adam give you the Jets content, but he gives you the Knicks, the Rangers. Who am I forgetting? The Knicks, Mets. The Mets.
I'll give you the Mets, and you know what? If something like really interesting happens, I'll talk about it. It might even be pro wrestling related. If something moves me enough, you know what? I'll talk about it. Why not?
If it's old school, I'm in. This current crap, I can't talk
Not
about.
This current. No,
they did just move Raw, though, from PG to TV 14.
Not much will change. No, I can tell you, not much will change. Not with what they have right now. But no.
Only something Nick.
It's so sad. I'm 41 and I'm nostalgic for 2000s wrestling, for independent wrestling. That's where I've come to. But
that's a great
boy.
We definitely.
You're safe if you're not from Iowa.
Yeah. Hey, Nick, look this way. I'm on 76 subscribers. I'm still trying to get to my 100. So I'm still grinding just for that. So
you'll get there. Everybody join up. Follow
the Jets videos get the most content. I'm actually pretty confident once the Jets stuff really starts to get going. I do feel pretty good that it'll.
Well, the thing is, you missed like the best time is actually even more so when they're playing. The best time is the draft for views. So you kind of started like right after that. But for me, it took me longer to go from 0 to 100 than it did from 100 to 1,000. So that shows you like how, because the YouTube doesn't respect you for a long time. And then
we're like at 340. And then I swear to God, it was a couple days later, and it was like 1,100. I'm like, what the hell just happened? What did I miss? And I went back, and you had 2 videos and I think you never said who, but you were like, you got really lucky that a big time guy retweeted your videos, and that's what helped you explode. So good for you, man. It's all about timing and place, everything in life, right?
Well, and the Jets community is really nice. Like people are like Gotham City Crew and Jets Talk 24/7 have me on. These people are awesome. And Nick Shine, I don't believe he's been on my show, which we got to fix that sometime, dude. We'll fix that soon. I'll tell you this. I'll just say who it is because you know what? I promised you guys an offensive starter who bailed on me. Maybe he'll come back, but I'm in touch with 2 guys, 2 former Jets, and we're working on dates. Braylon Edwards and Jericho Cotchery.
Nice.
We're 2 guys who they actually have their own like channels and media, so I'm a little bit more optimistic that they'll actually follow through. Where the current player just kind of flaked on me, and it is what it is. It's no hard. The fact that he even answered my DM is awesome enough.
Yeah. I'm working on Christian Hackenberg at the moment. He won't return my calls, but I'm working on it.
Blake Cashman, he's gonna have to zoom in. He's gonna have to zoom in from the hospital.
I have to see Blake Cashman my article
in a body cast. You just see like his eyes out of a body cast. But my point was, Nick, I feel like you'd be a perfect co-host if one of those guys come on. So
awesome.
I would like you to co-host that show with me if Braylon Edwards does come on.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
I'm working on 2 former Jets. I don't want to say their names because I don't want to put the carriage before the horse and jinx anything. But if you know anything about me, and if you've paid attention, Buffalo, you seem to be a very good student of learning everyone. My all-time 2 favorite Jets defenders, I've reached out to both, and I've had discussions with both. Don't say the names. You know who they are.
I know one. I definitely know one. I won't say it.
Sure.
And one, I'm friends with his wife on Facebook. and or girlfriend. I'm sorry, they've been together forever. I've reached out to her. We've had discussions. He almost called me on my birthday in October, but I had gotten drunk and passed out. And then the next day I woke up. I was like, son of a bitch, he was going to call. But and the other one was traveling on Friday. He was going to come on Friday night, but said he's traveling and he definitely wants to do one in the future and appreciates me. And like kind of recognized me from Twitter and Instagram, constantly telling him that like, you're my favorite Jet of all time, bro. This is fantastic.
It's awesome. So,
yeah, I got some things in the work. I feel that if that happens, that'll be the thing that helps the channel catch fire with everybody. And quick Jericho Cotchery story.
Yeah.
He lived in Watchung, New Jersey. And when we cut him, where'd he go? The Steelers or Carolina? Where did he go after us?
Steelers.
Pittsburgh.
Steelers.
I worked for Optimum, the cable company, and I had the disconnect at his house in Watchung, New Jersey. I had to go out there and turn the cable off. I'm like, and he had a field in the back of the property that like was like leveled out and flat for like running routes and stuff. You could tell it was like a football area. And I'm like, God damn, now I don't get the install, I get the disconnect. That's my luck in life.
So I want to I think Robert Cornett had a good question. I like this question. If I was an offensive coordinator and we were playing against the Jets, I mean, this could change throughout the season because this might be something that goes away. But let's say I'm the Ravens, first game of the year, right? Or I play the Jets right away. Based on last year, first of all, I'm going to screen pass until they prove to me they can stop it. I mean, to me, I can't believe they didn't do it more. I'm going to do draw plays. I'm going to do all kinds of running, trick running plays or short little out flat passes. I mean, first of all, I'm not going to give them time to pass rush me. I'm going to be looking at that defensive front. I'm going to see Carl Lawson. I'm going to see Jacob Martin or Quinn and Will. I'm going to see rotation. These guys going to be coming at me. I know that the way they're going to beat me is if I drop back and give them too much time to get to me. So or get to my quarterback. So if I'm the offensive coordinator, I'm getting rid of the ball fast, and I'm going to try to misdirect them because I think that the Jets' weakness is they overcommitted and we're out of position. So I'm going to try to expose that as much as I can. I'm going to try to do plays that get them out of position and go the other way and make them prove that they've taken the next step and can adjust and stop it. That's just me personally. What say you, Nick? You're a coach.
I think for as excited as we are to play the Ravens, I think based off of our Jets history, this might be the worst possible matchup for week one.
Yeah.
Awesome tight end, good running game. What has been the two issues for Jets? Like you just said, this is a great measuring stick game for where we're going. Do we make those changes? Do we make those adjustments? Do we evolve? Do we cover the screen pass? Are we able to stop the run? Can we stop the tight end from killing us on third downs, right? Like we're not scared of the receivers of this team. It's everything else. But everything else is what our weakness has been. So Reed and Gardner might have outstanding games, and we could still look horrible on defense. Do I think that's going to happen? No. But you have to have that fear in the back of your head, right? Based off of what we've been the last several years. Until you do it in the NFL, until you show it's not a weakness anymore, teams are going to attack it. So it's kind of a good thing that we're playing Baltimore week one when you look at it from the flip side, because they don't know what we're going to be now.
Yes.
So they don't know how we're going to stop the run.
They don't know what to prepare for.
They don't know how we're going to cover the screen. They don't know who we're going to put on Edwards. So, or am I saying Andrews?
Mark Andrews. That's where I was going to go. I can't wait to see how they try to defend Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
It could be MC2. It could be Hall. It could be Whitehead. You could go. There's so many ways that you could go. Do you double him because you trust these cornerbacks to cover the wide receivers one-on-one? I would double Andrews.
You put Gardner on him. You just say, you know what? You're going to be our number one guy from day one. Go stop their number one guy.
Wow,
you're going to be. If he moves out and he's not lined up as tight end and he's out wide, I want my number one corner on him. If that's your number one corner from day one, go guard their number one guy.
Revis did that a couple of times when the number one team's passing weapon was a tight end.
He covered Gronk a few times.
Yeah, he lined him.
Gardner's a little bit thinner, a little slighter of frame. Though.
Yeah.
I wonder if he has the size to really hang with the tight end. It'll be interesting to see.
But
That.
6'2" makes up for it. The length makes up for it, right?
Not as an inline blocker. I think if they flex him out and try and do a big slot, to me, the name that seems like a really good role for Bryce Hall, who's a little bit thicker, kind of built like a safety. And if we want to go big nickel, like if it's third and long, you go dime package and you play 3 safeties. My answer, just to give a different answer, because I agree with everything everyone said, but I like our corners. But if you have some speedy receivers that can stretch the field deep, I don't know if we have like a center fielder, rangy, true free safety that can track the ball and make plays on the ball in the air on this roster. Pinnock may become that. Ashton Davis, I'm not hopeful. Jordan Whitehead is great at he's great at what he does, but that's not what he does. So if Reed or Sauce, if you catch Sauce on a double move, which is going to happen. He was able to make up for that at Cincinnati with his athleticism, but a pro is going to catch him on a double move. Do we have a safety that could bail out one of those corners? And I would say probably not.
You don't think LaMarcus Joyner can?
LaMarcus Joyner, I trust him to be in his spot. He's a pro. He's the perfect backup. I'd love to have him be our backup at both safety spots and then be the backup nickel corner, which is what he did out west the past few years if Michael Carter misses games. Great roster spot, great backup, but him being 31, hasn't started a game at free safety in 3 years. He's 5'8", missed an entire season last year. I don't feel great about that.
No. Yeah. That makes sense. It's
what about you, Y2K? Oh, sorry, Jeremy.
No, I'm saying you're right, but but remember the philosophy of the defense is no big plays.
Now, I've always liked Joyner with the energy that he brings and the leadership that he brings. I mean, I'm fine with put it this way: if he was the weakest link of our defense, sign me up for that. Somehow, I don't think that's quite going to be the case. But to me, safety is. I really wanted to bring in 2 safeties this offseason. Yeah. One in the draft, one in free agency. That was my hope. Didn't quite happen that way. Happened a little. We got a very good one in free agency. We did not address it in the draft. So I'm hoping that means that this coaching staff believes in Pinnock emerging.
Don't sleep on Will Parks either. They loved Will Parks. Again.
Philly Will.
Parks is a good name. Parks is. I like him more than I like Elijah Riley. I do.
Is that just because of Riley not being in the right position at the end of the Tampa Bay game? Did we all sour on that? A little bit, right?
Yeah,
not that I would ever hold a grudge. I would never hold a grudge, especially when it's Brady related.
No, he made all the mistakes that Ashton Davis did, and he's not a draft pick, and he's not as athletic as Ashton Davis. I don't know if I see a future with Elijah Riley on this team. Philly Will, though, is a name. He's really respected in the locker room. Yep. He could be safety 4. He definitely could be a surprise to make it over Riley and Ashton Davis. I don't think Joe Douglas is the kind of GM to keep a draft pick for the sake of keeping a draft pick after year 3. I think he's the kind of guy where he's confident enough to say, look, if Philly Will is better than Ashton Davis and Ashton Davis is a 3rd round pick year 3, so be it. Philly Will is on the team.
Wow, look at all these late questions that are coming in, Chad. You guys,
let's do it, guys.
Once midnight comes
around. I like this question. Who spies Lamar? Is it going to be? Do you think it's going to be Whitehead?
I would want it to be Quincy if he could contain himself.
I think that's more of a Sherwood Nasleddine type of thing.
Okay. I like Quincy for the athletic. I
think we all discussed this earlier when the schedule first came out. We discussed this, and I think collectively the 4 of us agreed it's got to be a team effort. Right? You can't rely on one guy to stop Lamar. I remember this discussion we had when we saw the schedule. Right. It's got to be everybody. The pass rush has to contain, stay in their lanes. The linebackers playing underneath, playing that zone underneath is probably going to help against the run, right? If you're playing in man, you got your back turned, you're running. But if you're playing that zone well, your linebackers will be lined up to go and get a running quarterback. So it's going to be a schematic thing. I don't think it's going to be one guy with the responsibility of your spying. But there may be, when we play man, you drop a spy. And that could be to be determined.
I don't think anyone spies Lamar, and here's why. To me, it feels like a little bit of a wasted defender because at the end of the day, even if it's Whitehead and Lamar wants to take off towards the boundary or put a spin on him, like no one's hanging with Lamar one-on-one in the open field. So you need to not allow that situation to happen by it being a team effort. And what you saw, I don't want to say that the league figured out Lamar Jackson necessarily, but I mean, the Miami Dolphins showed a little bit of a blueprint. And what teams started to do, and last year Lamar Jackson threw 16 touchdowns and 13 picks. And he had, I'm looking at his numbers now, he had a regression in all of his stats. That 16 touchdowns and 13 picks is not great. That was down, like his MVP year, he was 36 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. And what the Miami Dolphins did was they played zero coverage every snap, and they said, we're going to blitz 6 or 7, and we're going to collapse the edge, and they put 2 guys in the A gap. So there's no running lanes for them to run. And they said, if your wide receivers beat our corners in man-to-man coverage, so be it. And that's the game plan. If Rashad Bateman and Duvernay, whatever French other name they got over there, if they beat Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed one-on-one and Lamar Jackson makes the throws and we lose, so be it. Yeah, fine. But I'm going to put an extra body on Mark Andrews. I'm going to blitz him, and the game is going to be in the hands of the Baltimore's running backs and their wide receivers. That would be my game plan.
It would go. I mean, look, I believe that any NFL team could change their game plan and their scheme for a team if they're going to match up. So even though it doesn't sound like what they talk about, rely on the 4 defensive linemen getting to the quarterback, I think they'd be smart to listen to you because I like it. Don't argue with a good thing that works. It's like it worked for Miami. He obviously, until he can prove he can respond to that kind of pressure, put him in what I like to call Jets chaos and see if he can handle it.
Yeah, and he'll throw a pick. And you made a great point, Jeremy, on the screen passes. You said make them prove that they fixed it. And Coach Mangini, however we may feel about him, he did say something he's on First Things First a lot, and he said something that I really agreed with. And he said sometimes what coaching staffs do is they anticipate an adjustment and they try to adjust to the adjustment. Like, for example, if you're running it down a team's throat in the first half, sometimes teams will say, okay, they're going to stack up on our run game, so now we're going to come out throwing it. No, make them prove that they can stop your run game before you stop it. So, look, John Harbaugh is a Hall of Fame coach. He's going to have some tricks up his sleeve to counteract that, for sure. But until I see it, if somebody show me the only defense that's ever worked to stop Lamar Jackson, I'd have to really think highly of myself to think I'm going to roll something different out there week 1.
Yeah, and I think Salah and Ulbrich, I know people wanted Ulbrich fired, but I said earlier this offseason, and I've always said, you're not going to fire the guy to run the same system if someone else comes in. You're just going to make the pieces in the system better because the system is the system. They're not changing the system as long as Robert Salah is the head coach. The system is going to remain the same. So they may just believe their pieces and talent are better and roll out with the blueprint, right? Obviously, there'll be some more exotic blitzes and maybe some different packages, personnel packages, but they're going to go with what they believe in. They're going to send 4 when they can, and then if they have to, they're going to blitz a little bit, but they're just going to man up and try to beat you and be better at their job than you are. That's like the main thing in this scheme. We're going to beat you man on man. Mm-hmm. All right, let's see where we're at. It's a good test, right? Like we know Baltimore is a perennial playoff team. So I'm looking forward to the test. I'm looking forward to the chess game. I'm really looking forward to the offense. Like I think
just hope it doesn't come. Yeah,
I'm a defensive coach. I will be the lunatic screaming and yelling and starting the defense chants all the time on second and third downs. And but I really want to see what this offense is going to do. I really, really love the way Zach looked at the end of last year, even though everyone was hurt. And I think offensively, we're going to be the problem instead of being a problem. Does that make sense? But I think that offense taking the pressure off the defense and playing with a lead, something that we haven't done a lot the last couple of years, is going to make the defense more fun. We get
Complimentary football.
We get up 10-0. We're all walking out of that place sounding like this. We're not going to have a voice. If we get up early, it's going to be. Well, I mean, Adam will have his voice.
How that game starts can be so important. If Braxton Berrios takes a kickoff return out to midfield, like how that game starts, man, it's going to be. I really feel like that environment cannot be understated. And if the Jets come out hot, it's going to be so electric in that building. I can't wait.
3 and out. Carl Lawson sack, block punt, recovered at the 8. Zach Wilson to Elijah Moore. 4 plays into the game, 5 plays into the game. We're up 6-0. That place will explode.
Hey, Watsuke, let me ask you this. Since we're getting the weeds on this game, we're breaking down the game. How about this, Watsuke? We win the coin toss. You want to kick it to Lamar Jackson and send Carl Lawson and the boys out there, or you want to give it to quarterback 2 right away?
I didn't know we were going to go coin toss tonight. All right.
How about that?
Right.
I was unprepared for this discussion.
I was not. Jeez, what are we going to talk about in August, man? This sounds like a September question, but that sounds good to me. I know that the tendency now in the NFL, I got to look up the stats. Maybe there's a way to find out when teams win a coin toss. Do they take the ball or do they defer?
They definitely defer more often.
It feels like now and more it's become fashionable to defer because you want to get the ball at the beginning of the second half. But I think if you're home, the crowd's wild. Let's start with the offense. Let's try to get up quickly.
No,
let's keep the crowd into it. I want to start with
knowing that the crowd is wild. Let's let the crowd affect them immediately. Because if we go 3 and out, we're going to be deflated. That crowd is going to be.
Why don't you have faith? I think you need to have more faith in our offense, then, Nick.
I do, but
I have a little more faith.
I'm a defensive guy. Put my defense out there.
Right.
Let my defense set the tone. Go get a sack. We sack Lamar, or Lamar tries to scramble, and we stop him. I mean, there'll be people hugging like we just won a playoff game. People will be celebrating like you've never seen before.
Yeah,
I can see your point. All right.
What do you think, Jeremy?
It's tough. It's a gamble to give it to them first, but at the same time, I understand why it's good to put our defense out there first. We got the crowd going crazy, loud. If let's stop Lamar first drive, fans going nuts. Then we know that for the rest of the half we have the ball coming to us in the start of the second half. I kind of like it. I take the gamble. And I start with the defense out there, and I run with we're going to get a big sack or a big stop, and we're going to get the team pumped up, and that's the way I'm going to go.
Yeah, you get the double dip action at the end of the. If you score at the end of the first half and then you get the ball to start the second half. But Nick, you talk about how wild the crowd would be, dude. If we're up 7-0 and then they have the ball, it's gonna be. Yeah. I looked it up. It's 92%. 92% of teams defer since 2018.
Yes.
Wow.
And if you want to become higher in the coach rankings, you don't go off of emotion.
Yeah.
I think taking the ball is going off emotion, and then you're allowing them to potentially double dip. You don't want to do that.
Allow them to score because you remember who their kicker is. The best kicker probably of all time.
Yeah.
I don't want
to do that.
Yeah, I don't want to put the Baltimore offense in a position where they just have to get to like the 35-yard line or the 40-yard line, and boom, they already have 3-0 on us. I don't want to give them the chance also at the end of the game where they could just kick the ball. They could have a field goal to win the game. So
I don't want to give them the chance to kick that field goal at the end of the half and then go down and get a touchdown. That'll be deflating, a 10-point swing. So I say kick it. The crowd is going to be electric. We actually have a home game in week 1, which is rare. We usually week 2 when we're 0-1 already.
That's right.
So let's let the crowd be that 12th man.
Yeah,
and don't forget, this place, I was going to every game when we were good in 9 and 10. I didn't miss a home game those 2 years. This place is one of the loudest places in football when we're good. The issue is we are not good all the time. Even the $700 seats in the stadium club, those people are up and cheering. This place gets loud when the Jets are good. We just haven't been there, and it's been half a stadium. This place is going to be filled week 1. It's going to be a great time.
It is. I can't wait. Yeah, it's
advantage again.
Sounds like an amazing time. But hey, I'll still be losing my voice, I'm sure, especially if I'm leading the touchdown chants like I always do with the Virginia Jets fans. If I'm doing that, believe I have lost my voice without being at the game. You don't have to worry about that, which may not go well for the post-game shows. but that's
I'm gonna have to learn sign language.
I got some sign language for how I felt about some recent Jets games, but that's another story.
Their secondary is elite. Yeah, I think they might have the best secondary in the league when healthy. Them, Denver, Buffalo, they're up there. They're top 5. Denver's underrated. Justin Simmons is one of the most underrated players. He might be the best safety in the league. He's unbelievable. And the corner they took last year, really good. But I think so for me, if we flip the question on offense, I would kind of maybe have a similar game plan that the Ravens do on their offense, because I would want to make the Ravens linebackers cover our tight ends and running backs and make them stop our running game. And who's their nickel corner? Like we talked about this on my stream. If you have 2 shutdown corners, which they have 2 really good corners. I don't know if shutdown corners exist in 2022 anymore, the way the game is officiated, but they have 2 really good corners, but their third best corner against either Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, and Garrett Wilson, to me, when our receivers are healthy, that is going to be where we feast. You see it all the time. You see when there's like a veteran, a good quarterback out there, and there's an injury at corner, you find out that backup's name really quick, right? Because you exploit the matchup. That's the game plan now. You put your 5th string corner out there against Tom Brady. That's the game. So
you put Javelin Guidry on Stephon Diggs.
Oh my God. Well, that's one quabble I have with what they showed last year. I feel like the offense, Mike LaFleur was willing to be creative and adjust his scheme a little bit. And what I mentioned, what Miami did, I don't think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to rush for, and they're just going to play their base. And they're not going to put a corner on Andrews. They're going to, your left corner, your right corner, you're the wide 9. Everyone just do your job. And I like that because you have less mental errors. But at what point do you have to, put your best players in the spot to make plays and like play to your opponent a little bit more? I think they should, at least.
I think that the tight end in this game is someone that makes you make that move, right?
You have to do it.
You can't just drop Zona against Andrews. Andrews will eat up.
It's not that he's a good tight end, but he's far and away their best receiving weapon. And
he had more yards per catch last year than Tyreek Hill did.
He's not necessarily. Oh, welcome back, Snacks.
He had more receiving yards and more yards per catch than Tyreek Hill last season.
It's just strange because I feel like Andrews, he's not going to get 15 catches a game. He'll maybe get 5 or 6, but he'll make the most out of the catches he does get. That's the kind of player he really is.
He was a volume guy the last year. He had a lot of catches. But yeah, he is a kind of
115.
I don't know off the top of my head. I'm sure we could
107. He had 107 for 1,300 yards, averaging 12.7 a catch for 9 touchdowns.
Yeah, he was top 5 in the league.
Like elite wide receiver numbers.
Well, he was top 5 in the league in reception yards for all humans who caught footballs last year. He was
that player.
Unbelievable.
I just love the all humans.
All human beings who ran routes last year and 9 touchdowns. How about a 70% catch rate on 13 yards per catch? This is unbelievable.
Yeah,
dude.
He with a quarterback that we all say is not a good passer, he still put up these numbers. Well, imagine what he would do with Mahomes or even I don't know, a middle of the pack, like a Matt Ryan.
Yeah, he's like, if we lose, okay, there's ways that I can come out of the Ravens game with a loss. Like they'd be favored. They're a good football team. There's ways that we can come out with a loss where I don't feel crushed. It is going to suck because I'm there and I'm spending a lot of money and I'm going to be with like a lot of you guys, and it would feel great to leave with a win. But if we lose and Mark Andrews has 9 catches for 152 yards and 2 touchdowns, I'm going to feel sick to my stomach.
Because we haven't evolved.
The New York Jets, I feel like the past few years when we've been bad, it's always the other team's best players going off for like season best performances against us. I mean, Kyle Pitts having his best game ever as a pro against us.
His only touchdown catch the entire season.
That was it.
Even to other teams that aren't good, that have like 1 or 2 guys who can beat you, we let them freaking beat us. So I'll say it again. If Lamar Jackson is hitting passes down the sideline to Rashad Bateman, who's beating Sauce Gardner in coverage, then so freaking be it. But if it's Mark Andrews over the middle on 3rd down over and over again, I'm going to be nauseous.
Watch it be like Charlie Kolar getting like 1 catch for the game. It'll be like a 15-yard touchdown.
Is he on Baltimore?
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's such a Baltimore pick.
Isaiah Likely. They got Likely and Kolar. They got both of them, and they have Nick Boyle. They have so many young tight ends.
They had a good draft.
Charlie Kolar, 3 catches, 6 yards, 2 touchdowns. One was
oh my God.
4th and 2.
Green Bean will be on suicide watch if that happens. If Charlie Kolar is scoring touchdowns against him, we need to.
And it's the Morgan Moses revenge game. Let us not forget that.
Hey, how about this matchup? How about Morgan Moses, as much as we respect him, trying to block Carl Lawson? I'll take that all day long.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I'm so excited to see Carl Lawson play football. I am so freaking
I got him
ready.
so many messages. I made a video just hyping up Carl Lawson in the shape he's in, and a bunch of comments were from Bengals and Steelers fans saying, dude, this guy wrecked our game plan. Like, he is unbelievable. And I was getting because obviously as Jets fans, you know, it's a different kind of hype, but when people from other teams, like opponents who face that guy, come in and they're like, yo, don't look at the stat numbers. You're getting a game wrecker in Carl Lawson. And I was so hyped to see that, because he's the closest thing we've had to a game wrecker probably since John Abraham. I mean, Muhammad Wilkerson did it for a year, but before that, it was probably
he did it until
05.
pen paper.
Yep, until the second he got paid.
And when you look at the D-line,
the
D-line is the one group on this team that reminds me of the Patriots in this way. The sum is greater than all the parts. It's the complementary players on the line now, where we've always been saying, well, where's Quinnen? What Quinnen do? Well, now Quinnen's got guys on the edge. Quinnen's going to be better in the interior. JFN moving back to his natural pass rushing spot on the inside. It's going to be the collection of everybody. And you're not going to look at our pass rush and say, we got to double Nick Bosa. We got to double J.J. Watt, T.J. Watt, Joey Bosa. It's a coincidence, all family. We don't have to stop Myles Garrett. These dudes are all going to be coming at us and can all equally get to the quarterback. So I'm curious to see how teams attack us and show our pass rush respect, something we haven't had since, like you said, the Abraham Ellis years.
Well, who do we think gets the most amount of double teams, Quinnen, JFM, or Lawson?
I think it depends on the opponent and their strengths and weaknesses on their line. I think that's the best answer. I don't think it's square peg, square hole, conversation over. I think it's this week, our guard is weak. We're going to have to slide the center to help. Next week, our right tackle's weak. We're going to have to chip the tight end and the running back. I think each team will have a different approach based on their talent, not ours. Jared, what are you eating?
Pizza with a lot of toppings. Bacon, sausage, ground beef, hot and sweet peppers. Good.
Not meatball, ground beef.
We're happy for you.
Well, in California they don't do meatballs on pizza; they do ground beef.
God, we should only.
Are you sure you're in California? Are you?
We
sure
should only have 49 states after hearing that statement. That's just me.
Can we just vote California out of the union?
After that would be the only reason we don't make meatballs on pizza. Goodbye.
Yes. If I got to you, goodbye.
You want to kill the economy? Go ahead.
It's on life support.
We only grow 80% of the food.
That's true.
Not that I say we, but I'm a New Yorker. Thick.
I was gonna say you're not growing food.
Jeremy, based off this
You're
comment,
the one
you
that
should-
they're growing it for. You eat 80% of the food.
Jeremy, once you
love
get the
watching
Patreon
it.
going, it'll be people watching you eat food.
I love watching
I can't believe this is a thing.
Tonight we had
Even on a Friday, that's
Yeah.
too much.
And he's gonna be spamming my live streams with his weird chat links to go watch him eat food.
my buddy was on that one night. He was the one he was a Giant fan. Adam, he was the one who kept typing 394 for Beckton's weight.
Yes.
He texted me when Jeremy was first eating. He was like, I haven't even heard a word you said yet. I am fascinated with watching this man eat.
This
I go,
actually
"Yeah."
happened to
I
me.
go,
I
it's
gotta-
6:00 out in California, so it's dinner time. He's eating. He's like, don't text me right now. I'm watching this.
Oh my God. So okay, here I got a buzzkill food story from today. So you'd have to know Virginia a little bit, but there's this place, Cinnaholic. They do these gourmet cinnamon rolls with all these crazy toppings like fruits, nuts. They have like 20 different types of frosting and whatnot. So today they were doing $1 cinnamon rolls. The only thing is, I live in Newport News. The place is in Virginia Beach. Without tunnel traffic, it's about 40 minutes to get over there. They open at 10 a.m. I got to be to work at 11 in Newport News, right near where I live. So in my infinite wisdom, after I finished donating blood plasma, I'm thinking, yeah, I could leave about 9:15, drive across the tunnel 45 minutes to get a $1 cinnamon roll, and then eat the cinnamon roll and drive right back and be just a little bit late to work. I get there and I found out, you know what they do with their cinnamon rolls? They're all vegan. In other words, oh gosh.
So there's no butter?
No butter, no eggs, no milk. In other words, no fun. That's why they have all the crazy toppings, because they want to disguise the flavor of the freaking cinnamon roll.
What is it,
by
like a
putting on all
Kaiser
this
roll
other
with a little
stuff.
cinnamon sprinkled on it?
I was looking for sesame seeds. I mean, it just tasted generic. It had that weird sort of like after. I mean, there's no in the frosting. There's like no cream cheese. There's no buttercream. Obviously, I don't even know what the hell was in that frosting.
This reminds me of the Park and Rec where Ron is at the place and they're giving out like vegan bacon. And he's like, oh, can I have a piece? And they hand it to him and he just throws it in the garbage. Oh, can I have another, please? He takes it, throws it in the garbage. They're like, sir, what are you doing? I'm making sure nobody ever has to eat this filth.
So I got gypped on a 1.5 hour drive for that cinnamon roll. It was only $1. It was fine.
1.5 hour drive for a cinnamon roll with these gas
Total.
prices. You're a
Total,
millionaire. You're a
total
millionaire.
took about
I'm
45
convinced you're a
minutes each way.
millionaire and you're just hiding it from us.
Maybe I accompanied. Well, I met a friend there. So
Oh, I don't even want to do a 1.5 minute walk right now with this heat up here.
Yeah, they actually just replaced the thermostats in my apartment, so now I can finally I can adjust the temperature for my phone. Now, yeah, so I can be lazy to the point where I don't have to get up to turn up the air conditioning. It's kind of nice.
It's great if it's you have the app where if you're not home, you can kick the air conditioner on an hour before you go home.
Exactly.
Nice. That's the best.
Yeah. So that's brand new. Well, again, Vino, thankfully, yeah, $50. No, it wasn't even a quarter of a tank to go over there. So maybe like $10, $12 maybe.
So how was it eating a cardboard pastry?
Well, and sadly, the frosting wasn't too much of a distraction. Once you get to the center of a cinnamon roll, it's always pretty good. But yeah, it was missing that richness, especially on the outside. And it's just it's not the same.
What is this cinnamon roll a metaphor for, Adam? What's really going on in your life, dude? You could tell us.
For that,
What's her name? What's her name, Adam?
For that, I'm going to have to go to the wicker chair and do a separate video on my channel to get more subscribers.
Yeah, this is the tease, right?
This is the tease. Tune in.
Speaking of teases, chairs, and cinnamon, I think I have an
Are we
idea of this
still
lady's
talking
profession.
about this? Cinnamon roll?
Yes, her name was Cinnamon.
Her name was Cinnamon, and when I got to the center, it wasn't as good as I thought it'd be.
You can find her on the matinee shift.
Yeah, I was just slapping around a couple.
That's definitely, you're right, Buffalo. Good call. I can't believe I missed out on it earlier. This is definitely a vegan female-driven trip.
Yes. Oh, look, he can't even bear to talk to us about it anymore.
He had to block us because she's watching.
Yeah. And the man she left for, his name is Mark, and that's why he was getting in his feelings about the Ravens tight end. So it's all coming
Well,
full
let's
circle.
be real. If she's vegan, there's no way she's up at 12:20 on the East Coast. You don't have the energy to stay up without putting anything good in your body.
Oh,
You know,
man.
she used to dance at the Bada Bing. No, everyone who danced at the Bada Bing is not vegan. They love meat.
Man, rest in peace to two Sopranos legends that we lost in the past couple weeks,
yeah.
man.
Wait, who was the other besides Paulie?
Big Pussy.
No.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Oh, that was before, right?
No, he was more recent. I want to find his real name because I don't want to be dropping that word on Jeremy's channel.
Too late. You already threw the M80 down the hallway, bro.
I mean, that was it. That was really his name.
That was his name, though.
That was the character. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
not. You're not calling somebody that.
Vincent Pastore.
Yes. Okay, I did hear that.
Yeah.
I just didn't
Vincent.
know he was that character. Cameron,
Yeah.
what's up, man? Give us a topic, bro. We're watching Jeremy eat, and you know how we usually get distracted when that happens.
Oh,
That's actually a picture of the cinnamon roll. Hold that up again. That's the cinnamon roll that Adam had. Cardboard. Vegan girls got that fire snapper.
no, that is really good.
Oh, that's a great comment that I didn't expect.
Cameron
Tat,
says.
give us a topic, man. I'm up for talking.
What, someone asking for Jet stuff?
I think he just joined.
Cameron
wants to
just joined.
Oh.
Yeah, he wants to see what's going on.
Oh,
Wherever
so what's
you
the
want.
next topic? The next topic is going to be decided by Buffalo.
All right, I'll do one more. Then I gotta get out. It's coming up at 1:00 on the East Coast. Let's see.
While you're thinking, Knobcraft, have you ever seen Jeremy and Joey Chestnut in the same place? Until you do, I'm convinced they might be the same person.
It's interesting too because I'm not always looking at like Jeremy's stream, but whenever I do, I never see him reaching for the food or like swallow it. It's just always chewing. It's just like a constant chewing. The next topic will be okay. So this is actually a tweet I put out, and I'm usually undefeated on Jets Twitter, but I got ratioed on this one. People disagreed with me.
Oh, I saw that. You got attacked.
I got attacked. Well, first of all, just as a funny thing, I put out a survey just for fun, like Kevin Maguire, Nick Mangold, and I got 3 people who commented or messaged and said, "How dare you? No true Jets fan would ever put these 2 men against it." I'm like, dude, calm down.
Look at Blitz. Blitz is saying Vincent Pastore didn't pass away. It was a hoax.
Oh, shoot. Good. Awesome.
I was like, all right, I didn't hear that.
So my tweet was this. So I've heard a lot of people say, oh, well, if Zach Wilson plays amazing and the Jets only win 6 or 7 games, that's a great season. But to me, that's a scenario that doesn't exist. I can't imagine a season in which Zach Wilson plays great and the Jets are freaking 6-11. Like 6-11 is what horrible franchises do. Like the Atlanta Falcons are about ready to go 6-11. So I just can't marry that idea.
It'd be the miracle if they win 6. They may be pushing the 0, 1, or 2 button.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess insert really bad, football team. That's not like one of the 2 or 3 worst teams.
Yeah, Carolina's the 32nd ranked team on that power rankings list, by the way. They came in last.
Yeah, like in order to go 6-11, you have to have either really bad quarterback play or a really bad defense. Like bottom 5 in one of those two is how every team. I looked it up. Every team the last 3 years that's won like 7 or fewer games. Every one, including the Adam Gase-led Jets who won 7 games. If this team this year wins less games, 6 wins, less games than a team coached by Adam Gase, where our best pass rushers were Henry Anderson and Jordan Jenkins, and we started Chris Hogan opening day as an outside wide receiver, the 33-year-old corpse of Chris Hogan. And I know not all the schedule is different, this, that. I don't care. In no scenario can this team win less games than that team. or something went horribly wrong. Something went horribly wrong.
We did play
That-
the NFC East that year though, and went 3-1 against them.
Yeah, I remember Jamal Adams taking the ball from Daniel Jones and running it back to the end zone. Like, I get that. And the schedule, look, it's weird to me that we knew who we were going to play forever and nobody freaked out about the schedule. Then the order comes out and everyone's losing their mind.
Yeah.
That's kind of silly to me. We got to play them all eventually.
Recency bias, right? Everybody wants to flip out about the new thing they know.
The schedule, we have the 17th hardest strength of schedule. We have an average schedule. And we face some good quarterbacks. We also are going to get Jacoby Brissett, Drew Lock, Kenny Pickett, Trevor Lawrence, Justin
twice.
Fields, Tua twice, Mac Jones twice,
Mac Jones
Jared
twice.
Kirk
Justin
Cousins,
Fields. I don't know if you said Fields yet.
Justin Fields.
Fields and Goff, right?
The only horrible, the only two horrible teams we don't really. I mean, there's a few, but like Houston's the only AFC team. I mean, Atlanta Giants would have been nice, but we already had them. I mean, we could look at any schedule and say, oh, we have a tough schedule. But I mean, realistically, every team who plays the Jets is going to think that they're going to beat us. So, the way I see it, in the eyes of the world, we got nothing to lose and everything to gain. So, I mean, I don't, and the strength of schedule, it's going to change nonstop. I mean, because there's always things are going to happen in these teams. They're going to overachieve, underachieve, players get hurt, things come out of nowhere. So, to me, strength of schedule just gets very overhyped. I just don't think it's as big of a
it's the
deal as
most
people
overrated talking point of the offseason. At the extremes, like if you have a top 3 hardest schedule or like a bottom 3 easiest schedule, that'll probably check out. But between then, like half the teams that make the playoffs one year are out the next. And with injury too, like when the Browns first came on our schedule, it was going to be when our schedule first came out, we were facing Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson. Now it's Drew Lock and Jacoby Brissett. Not to mention the injuries that happen within the season. So to me, the freaking out over the schedule is like the most overrated thing of the offseason.
100%. But it's also a Jets fan. We overreacted to everything.
I mean, I made a video about
Large
it.
portion of the fan base that overreacted.
So I'm guilty.
Is Watson going to be allowed to appeal if he from what I'm hearing? Let's say he's suspended 8 games hypothetically. Is he going to be able to appeal that suspension and possibly play week 1 or week 2 and serve his suspension?
There's no possible way.
If I'm Watson,
No possible way.
If I'm Watson, I'm not appealing
So-
it because you gave me a $1 million salary this year. I'll take the suspension during the $1 million salary to not be suspended for the rest of the contract. They gave him a $1 million salary this year, knowing he's going to get suspended for a good portion of it, whether it's 4, 6, 8, 12, whatever. So if I'm him, I take it, and then I move on, put it behind me, and then make all my tons of money next year.
His only hope is like they're going to suspend him for a season and have him, and he could appeal and maybe win and get it reduced to 8 games, or they're going to go for 2 years and get him to appeal it to 1 year, and that's the plan. But I guarantee you he's not playing week 2. I guarantee you there's no way that the NFL will let that happen. I guarantee it. And I'm not saying agreeing or disagreeing because that gets into political shit and all that stuff. And I don't know the facts of the case. I'm not into it. I'm not trying to know the facts of the case. I'm not trying to be a jury or judge. I'm just saying being realistic and the reality of it and the perception and based on what the NFL has done lately.
It's a PR nightmare.
Years, it's a PR nightmare. There's no way they're going to let this guy back on the field week 2. There's no way.
And if Calvin Ridley's getting a year,
yes, that was the next thing out of my mouth. For betting on his own team to win for what was like $1,000.
He wasn't playing in the game.
I mean, and look, it goes deeper than Deshaun Watson. I mean, the Houston Texans franchise was clearly complicit in some of this. Like the thing though that might benefit him is that the NFL might want this just done and might not want to drag it out through the appeals and him trying to countersue. So interestingly enough, Deshaun Watson might have a decent amount of leverage of just like them wanting to have it be done. And I don't know how, it's so confusing to me. I've listened to like so many videos on how it works of the Sue Robbins does this, but then Goodell can say this, but then he can sue and the player, I have no idea how it all works. So I don't know if he's going to be allowed to play week 2. I have no idea how it works.
Yeah, it's still. To be determined, right? Something all over our picture.
Yeah,
I want to
well,
tell
it's
you something
amazing that's
Jeremy
taking this
said.
long.
Understand if she comes down, whatever this judge says, like
Right.
Right, whatever she says, that's it until the appeal is over.
Yeah.
So she said it's not like he's going to say, "Well, I'm appealing it, so I don't start it yet." I don't think it works like that. If she says you're suspended for a year, he's suspended for a year until they overturn it. Like he'll have to go to court and like he'll be fighting it. I don't think they're going to put off the suspension and let him play.
I think there's been cases where they appeal and then they can play until the appeal plays out and then they serve the decided suspension.
And
That's
if
my
you
fear.
appeal, the appeal usually takes place when you get to New York. So the appeal would take place when he comes to New York. Like he would have to come to New York early, and then the appeal would be taking place in New York, or the bye week he flies out. So
Dude. It's the Jets, so you know he's going to play the first 2 games, and then he'll be
he'll
suspended
get
for the next
cleared at
8.
12:57 on September 11th.
Oh my God, you're right. He's going to appeal it and be allowed to play.
Yeah.
And, oh my God, he's going to come in.
And then after the game, he's got to go to
Exactly.
Manhattan for the appeal, and then he's suspended for the rest of the season.
No, but there's a chance that he's not
And
going
he'll
to
still get a few MVP votes just for good
Oh wait,
measure.
no, we go to Cleveland. Cleveland doesn't come here.
I don't know if he's going to camp though. I think until a decision is made, he's on this kind of like paid suspension kind
on
of
the
thing. or paid
commissioner's
leave.
exemption list or something.
So that means that he might not be able to play just because he's not ready.
How do you think this plays in the locker room? I would love that's got to be so
Oh my
weird.
gosh. Practices, preseason games. I mean, how do they divide reps up? My gosh.
Can I just say something Jeremy said before, and I wanted to get this in. Jeremy said, he's not the judge or the jury, but damn, man, when you get a slice of pizza in your hand, you certainly are the executioner.
I witnessed it firsthand. We both were.
Not the judge or the jury. Oh, don't do that.
It's like a hedge trimmer. It's like, and shavings are coming out the side of his mouth.
He didn't even buy the Jets flags to like show that he was a fan. He put those up to protect the walls while he eats. All right, come on. I had to get that in there. You know how we are.
I know how you are.
It's funny just looking at the chat. One guy says Watson will never play again. Another one will say he'll get half a season at the most. I mean, there's such a range here in what people think is going to have happen.
It's going to be something like in the middle. There's no way they're just because the PR hit would be too hard. I mean, it's not like there's a female fan base. It might not be as heavy as the male fan base, but it's enough to hurt them. Like, it's enough bad publicity to hurt them. It's enough bad publicity to have some of those feminist groups outside the stadiums or whatever going nuts and making a lot of noise.
It's bigger than that, though, because you have sponsors and partners who, like, without getting into the political weeds, who lean a way that would frown against this tremendously. And you're going to have, like, pickets and protests outside of stadiums that this man is playing in. If you let him play week 1, you're going to have literal like protests outside of your stadium. People are going to be chaining themselves to poles, and it's going to be nasty. Especially if he's allowed to play on the opener, it's going to be a bleep show.
It's going to be like Michael Vick all over again.
Yep, that's the closest thing. That's the closest comparison we have to it in recent NFL history. It's a great call. Yep.
If he's smart, he'll negotiate it and try to settle it. Like Nick was saying, his salary is set up for him to just come in and say, let's just negotiate this. Let's make it. Maybe he'll try for something less than a year. But even if he negotiates the year, just get it over with, get it out of the news, and then
you get
just
suspended for 8 games this year. You lose $500,000. You get suspended 8 games next year. You're losing $21 million.
Yeah.
Suspend me for the whole season. All right.
Right, he should cut a deal. He should see what's on the table. What are they willing to negotiate to? I know it's hard to, it's hard to walk away and say yes a year. Maybe he can get them down to 10 games, something. But his best thing is to end it, and that's the best for the NFL. It's the best for him. Is to right now come to an agreement and quietly end it. He comes back and let it just fade away into history.
He's got to want this to be over just for his life too. How long does he want to be? Guilty or not? I mean, I don't know.
Vic repaired his image, right?
Yeah, and
Somewhat.
He's on Fox, right? He's on the Fox show now, right?
Yeah,
and
but
people
But
can.
we thought he was like the poison pill. Don't touch,
Vic-
don't be involved with him, don't tie your name to him. All the sponsors dropped him. And now all of a sudden he's back to like nothing ever happened.
well, he took complete accountability. He donated money to
did
right.
his time.
He
Yeah,
did all
he went to
kinds
jail.
of things.
I mean, he went to jail.
Now
He did, yeah.
Right now, he this in this case, in this situation, Donovan has not done anything.
Deshaun, yeah, and
Deshaun.
he's not admitting it, and
Charged for nothing.
no, and you know remorse when you see it. And Michael Vick, as someone who loves dogs, like he's never gonna be my favorite player or someone who I would buy his jersey after that. But you know genuine remorse when you see it, and I see that out of Michael Vick and Deshaun Watson. Like maybe he's not the next Bill Cosby, but he's at the very least obviously a creep. Like would anybody in this stream want a woman they care about to be anywhere near Deshaun Watson? No. And he's just acting like it's not normal what he did. It's not normal to have 68 different masseuses. Like it was clearly a power dynamic there. That something was not right. What it means criminally, I have no idea. I can't speculate, but he's clearly done something wrong. Come on.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. I'm a big believer of that.
Yeah.
But
Even Robert
believe
Kraft
that-
was like, "Hey, Deshaun, you better back off a little bit," you know.
But I'm a firm believer of where there's smoke, there's fire. But I'm also an equally firm believer of when one person gets an idea and can jump on a money train, others will gladly join that. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of
Oh, no doubt
torn
about
in
it. No
between
doubt
it.
about that.
There's a lot of those women. It's very suspect, obviously, because they there's texts and they had a relationship with them afterwards, and then they're complaining. That's crazy. You had a relationship with them. You don't get to say that he did something that hurt you and harmed you because you had a relationship with him. You chose to go out with them and date him, for God's sakes. But it doesn't really matter because, I mean, in the sense that Ford didn't take the money. Ford didn't take the deal. Ford said, no, it's not about money. I need justice. You know, and some of the and a couple of them I saw interviewed, if you watch Real Sports, were very legitimate. They were like certified massage therapists who were trying to build up their business. And it was like, it only takes one that it's real. If he did one, if he assaulted one of them, it only takes one. You don't need it to be multiple girls.
When we do these shows, we're honest, and sometimes we open up into our life. I'm just going to say it. I said it on the IOW show that I do. I'll say it on here. If there was a group of women in New Jersey who give out massages and I had money and could go after me, I would be Deshaun Watson. I'll just say that.
But would you do the things he does that they're saying he did?
No, but I'll just say that the endings were happy and it was mutually consented upon.
Right. But it only takes one of those girls.
Yeah, but that's not the extent of the allegations, though.
Right.
I know.
you know.
But if I had money, the allegations would probably be, we didn't do nothing wrong. He did everything wrong, right?
Yeah, that's real. And there is in that back of my
people don't
mind,
admit
like,
fault when they make an allegation. When people make an allegation, it's I'm the victim. That person was horrific to me.
that is true. And there is in the back of my mind, like, that innocent until, like, oh man, like, what, like, false accusations are real. The total number of it, I don't know. There's a lot at play. And I think that there are some of the women probably, I don't know. I don't want to say any more about it. I guess.
It's a slippery slope to discuss.
It's a slippery slope, but the bottom line at the end of the day is we don't even have to talk about it from that perspective. We can only talk about it from the reality. And the reality is the NFL cares about perception.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
And when you're pushing all of this women coaching, women getting involved, like you said earlier, you got to have their back. You can't turn the other cheek now that you're pushing this women in sports, women in the NFL, the NFL flag girly, all of this that you're pushing, you got to have their back now. You got to strike hard, I think, if you're the NFL.
Yeah, every freaking
wanna
week
have
there's a new 30 for 30 about women. There's a new podcast about Title IX. There's a new book coming out. There's a movie of the week. I mean, it's being shoved so hard right now. Oh my goodness! I mean, it'd be a complete turnabout if nothing happened to Deshaun Watson. So, I think we're all just ready for resolution. But even when there is resolution, it'd be like, okay, when's the appeal happening? Yep.
Yeah.
Let me throw this out there. Remember Ray Rice? Ray Rice got 2 games, and then we saw the video. And when we saw the video, that's when greater action got taken. That's when the NFL looked really bad, because the rumors were that the NFL knew about the video, but only did 2 games anyway. And then when public reaction came out, that was when they everything changed. What if they give 4 games? And then there's a video that gets released of him being aggressive with a woman. And there's video now. It's going to flip the whole script. So the NFL's got to be very careful, because they don't want to have egg on their face. And
I would say first the
back to
timing
the
of the
football
release
side of it, Blitz says, can't believe the Browns gave up 3 first-round picks for the circus. Houston will make a Super Bowl before the Browns do with these picks. Because their pick is going to be top the next couple of years. Middle, you know how the Jets are getting good because we have the Seattle picks? Houston's going to get good because of the Browns picks from this trade. I'll be right back.
Yeah, well, Cleveland is paying their quarterback room because they're on the hook for Baker, and Jacoby's getting decent money for a third stringer, and then Deshaun with the signing bonus had like a $45 million cap. They're paying their quarterback room like $65 million this year, and they're going to be starting Jacoby Brissett. So that's the Browns being the Browns right there. I mean, I'm so glad we have Joe Douglas, because I've said it a million times. Joe Douglas would have loved 2 people. Mike McCagnon would have loved 2 people. Urban Meyer as his coach and Deshaun Watson as his quarterback. And that is a reality that we could have been living had we not hired Joe Douglas.
I mean, you'd have the opportunity to draft Deshaun Watson, but we didn't. Yeah. That didn't quite happen. Oh, right. Barney's talking about Connie Carberg, who's I saw an interview. Yeah, she's wonderful. I would. Connie's awesome.
I love Barney. I would love to. Can you get her for me? It's not about.
I mean, I follow her on Twitter. I mean, but as a lot of us do, I'm sure. But
no, I'm saying is I don't. I mean, look, if I would. I would love to have her on my show. I would love to. I just I mean, get her for me. I wish I could. Buffalo's better at it than I am. I'm not really good at it, but I got Matt O'Leary on because Buffalo told me, just ask. He likes you. You're his friend, right? Just ask him. And it worked.
Yeah, they're all nice. I think you realize that they're just like a regular, they're like a celebrity to me because I'm a small Jets YouTuber, but to like anyone else, it's just like, oh, you have a YouTube channel, they have a YouTube channel. There's no difference.
Right. They still put their pants on one leg at a time, dude.
They're just further along in the process.
Even though Matt O'Leary's pants are much longer than the rest of ours, he still just puts them on one leg at a time.
That is true.
You could argue they're just further along in the process because one day you might be at 15 to 20,000 subs, and it's the same, right? But you'll be the same guy. You just happen to be further along in the process.
Oh, I'll be a much different guy. I'll be a total jerk if I'm at 20,000. If I'm at 20,000 subs.
Yeah, Buffalo. I look forward to you doing more impressions, like adding Nick to your wheel of impressions. You'll have many more options, I'm sure, that you could add on. So,
by the way,
sorry.
I was just going to say, by the way, tonight convinced me that I'm definitely going to do a thing for Super Chats. There's like Tom Grossi puts up a thing like $10, I'll do this, $100, I do a shot of liquor or something. I'm going to do it based on food. Like $5 for a wafer.
You'll be 400 pounds in a month, dude. Bad idea.
But since people love to watch me eat pizza, like at McDonald's and stuff, I might have to do a thing. Like a $20 Super Chat, I'll eat a McDouble. Or something like that. If we reach $50 in Super Chats, I'll eat a Big Mac. If we reach 100, I'll eat 2. Something like that.
And then you'll be able to afford your open heart surgery by the end of the season.
No, yeah.
My brother wants me to do it with hot sauce.
$100 and I take my shot of insulin. Thank you for keeping me alive.
Yeah, now the chaos is in Jeremy's heart.
We'll do like over-unders on Jeremy's blood pressure.
Yeah, be like, that's my boy. Ow!
I might pay 20 for a triple Whopper. I've eaten a double
Dude, Heart
Whopper.
Attack
I've never
Grill?
done
Not
a
crap. That sounds like Heart Attack Grill right about now.
I don't think I could do it for 20 because, I mean, I've eaten double Whoppers. The problem with that is if you gave me 20 and I did a triple Whopper, the next guy would give me 20 expecting me to do a triple Whopper, and I couldn't do 2. So I have to make it realistic. So I think it would have to be a total.
Sustainable?
I was thinking that would help here with the food thing. But
It has to be everyone together. Like, when I get to this amount, I'll eat this. When I get to this amount, I'll eat this. Like, it has to be a team effort. So this way it controls that I don't die, you know?
Yeah, it's
If you're doing this,
we
you're gonna have to
appreciate
buy
that.
a second seat when you come out to New Jersey, bro. And healthy snack here, some leftover grilled chicken.
Jeremy, if you keep this up, we'll finally have a run stuffer on the defensive line.
You'll see me come out with my number, and it'll just say chaos in the back of my jersey.
Back in Sacramento, is that Mr. Cravat on the
He'd
scene?
go from egghead to cue ball because he would just be
Yes.
rolling out there.
They have to airlift you off the field during passing downs.
This is
You make Chester McLaughlin look like Braxton Berrios.
They would have to take a timeout before the play to let him get out there, and a timeout after the play to let him get off the field.
And then just make sure you don't play him on the last play in the first quarter, the third quarter, when they switch sides of the field. Get jogging the rest of the way. You outweigh Beck.
Feed the End could be the name of it. I could call it.
Beckton would do a podcast saying, "Damn, this guy is fat."
It would be your weight loss
Yeah.
consultant.
Beckton will be dying to take a picture next to you so he can look so lean. Get it on Instagram.
394 my ass.
Your poor wife would have to blow out the wall to get you out of that room when the show is over. One doorway would not be enough.
Oh my god, that would be so ridiculous. Top of the chaos.
You'd be ineligible for dome games because if you ever passed gas, it would be like biological warfare to the people in the stadium. You need open ventilation.
They would need to fly me on my own plane, like a special plane.
Thank God there's no more international games this season. Can
We'd
you
have to
imagine?
get you a black singlet. You look like King Kong Bundy.
5. Shave your eyebrows and you got it.
How many pizzas do you want, Jeremy? 5.
5.
I love when this shit takes on a life of its own.
I love when
my
we laugh
God.
so hard that my throat, my stomach start to hurt. It's the best.
Getting back to football. This is gonna be
Now
amazing.
this is more fun. Go ahead.
Football picking on one another. Football boom, picking on one another.
We were pretty good. We were serious for most of the night. I gotta say, we were pretty good. So
It took a while for it to break down. We're late. We're tired. It's like
Pizza the Hut.
it's late for
At the
me.
top of the hut.
Pizza the Hut.
Nobody outdoes the Hut. No, Jeremy does.
no, Jerry does.
He's number 1 in your hearts and number 2 in your diabetes list.
Oh, I got diabetes, bro. He's up.
Too soon, Buffalo. Too soon. He was just in the hospital.
That's crossing a line, buddy.
Too soon.
You know, some things you just take too far, man.
That's gonna be the big one. $100 super chat. I'm gonna call it the Nick Shine. I'm gonna eat a meatball sub. And what about 8 beers?
Dude, no, if it's Nick
my
Shine, you
God.
got to get moonshine. You got to take a shot of
Oh, that's
moonshine.
dangerous. That's
No, you do
Bad
the 8
idea.
beers,
Buff,
and
bad idea.
then you drink a gallon of
Buffalo,
water.
reel that back
You got to
in.
drink
Reel that
all
back
the
in.
water afterwards. You'll be peeing for 30 minutes.
I just can't believe you get a meatball sub and you get it with French fries. Because to me, it's always like a burger and fries. But Italian food, you get a meatball hero, you get maybe some pasta, you get a slice of pizza. But no, this guy gets fries like he's eating a hamburger.
Well done.
I love it. Well done. Of course, it's well done. You're not a New Yorker or a New Jerseyer if you don't say burn the fries. Gotta burn the fries.
I've never heard that said.
Because if you don't cook the fries enough, they stink, man. Fries are disgusting unless they're
They
cooked.
gotta be crispy.
I love my French fries country.
Yeah, I mean, a spongy fry is like if you get a Nathan's fry, we talked about this. You get like a big fat Nathan's French fry and it's like soft all the way around. No. It's like it's eating a freaking mashed potato. It's no good.
Oh, I think that yes, Barney. I do think I believe that. I don't think Jesse. I think that we're going to get Quan or Riley Reef or Quan Alexander. I would predict that we'll get at least one, if not both. Like I think one of them will come through and we'll get them. I'm predicting one of them.
I'm a big Jesse Bates fan, but it doesn't make sense at this point.
No.
I wanted him in free agency, but I'm not willing to trade assets. And now that we've committed to Jordan Whitehead, how much more money are we going to commit to the safety position?
That's the point you make. It's the double whammy. If he was a free agent, yes. If we were trading for him on his rookie contract, yes. But to give up a second round pick and then change and then make him a top 5 paid safety in the league, ouch. No I'm out on that.
And I love it, but
keep that second round pick and draft your safety next year. I'll say this. I'm out of the business of pretending I know what Joe Douglas is going to do, because 4 short months ago, if I told you Joe Douglas is going to offer 5 picks and $120 million for a wide receiver, take a corner at 4, and trade up for the top running back in the class, you'd have told me I'm out of my mind. But Jesse Bates checks all the boxes of a Joe Douglas guy, but the sign and trade, I'm only doing that for like an edge, an offensive tackle, and a top flight receiver, in my opinion. But that's just me.
It's not a Joe
Yeah,
Douglas.
but Buffalo, you got to remember, you said a second round pick. Cincinnati, they'd have to pay the Douglas tax. So that goes down to about like a 6th round pick.
Yeah, we'll have to call up Houston. We'll get a 3-team trade with Blake Cashman. So we'll send them Blake Cashman and the royalty rights to any Bryce Petty merchandise we sell, and that should do it.
Pretty much.
And maybe Cincinnati could throw in one of those like new white helmets that they got, the white and black helmets. Maybe we could just display one of those. Those are pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, that would complete our freaking secondary, though, man. My Lord.
Oh, my God. He's so good.
He would be the perfect complement to Whitehead, because he is that center field true free safety we talk about. The idea is tempting. I feel like it's very unlikely.
I just don't know why we didn't. I mean, there were guys like that we could have drafted. I'm still amazed. I know we talked about him, but like why Verone McKinley wasn't drafted, and now he's in Miami. That to me, that would have been the type of guy that would have made some sense. But there were a couple different coverage safeties we could have gone after. But you know what? They prioritize the defensive line over everything. They're not about making the bad positions passable. They're about making whatever positions they can great. They know their positions, and that's where they're going to upgrade. And if that means we have a weakness at a lesser position, so be it.
Well, that's what the Rams do. Les Snead has literally come out and said it, and he follows true to it. Les Snead said, I'm never going to pay a guard, a safety, an off-ball linebacker, or a running back. And they're just going to load up on those premier positions. And, I mean, you can't fault the results that they've got, and then you just fill out your roster, the rest of it with the drafts. I don't know. I don't see us. It feels like a safety you pay $14-15 million. I don't know. Any defender who's not sacking the quarterback. Yeah. I can't see
You're
it.
not sacking the quarterback or helping the quarterback. You're not getting that.
Yeah. Perfectly said. And.
Right.
So we were talking about.
We didn't pay Jamal Adams, right? I'm not putting Adams on the same level as Bates, but position-wise, it makes 0 sense to then go trade assets and extend the guy who's going to want top dollar. So you're
only thing is we did make an offer to Marcus Williams, but again, that's only money. It's not draft capital and money.
To me, it's if we're going to go big on a guy, you do it in the middle of in the offseason free agency. I don't agree with paying both. I don't agree with paying tons of draft capital and paying top salary. It doesn't work in my mind because what? Just wait till free agency and pay the top money if for a guy if you're ready to pay top money. I don't understand the concept of we're going to give draft capital and pay top money.
The
It makes
only
no sense to
time
me.
you
It's
do
fool's
that
gold.
is
Fool's
at
gold
a
to do that.
yeah, it is. The only time you do that is at positions that don't come available in free agency. So a franchise left tackle, an edge rusher, a quarterback, or maybe a top flight receiver, like the guys that get either franchise tagged or extended all the time and don't hit the market, then you do it. You can get a really good safety any year in free agency.
Yeah.
So you just wait, or keep that second round pick and take a look at the safeties that were taken in the second round this year. Guys like Jaquan Brisker, go get that. Yeah, Jalen Petrie.
Yes,
Go get that guy next year with that second round pick. And I know Jets fans like you don't want to hear about kicking the can down the road anymore, but Joe Douglas has done. I think it would venture into getting like a little irresponsible, is what he said with the Tyreek Hill trade. He was like, "Look, we had an offer out there, and it was kind of irresponsible." And that, to me, in hindsight, the best thing that happened. That was the quote. The best thing that happened this offseason was because I had the Jets not trading, gutting the middle of our draft, and paying $120 million guaranteed to a wide receiver up till his 32nd year. And now
we don't have
have
Wilson, we don't have Paul, and we don't have Jermaine. So if you're not taking Wilson at 10 now, and then you don't have the assets to move up with because we were giving up 35 and 38 and 69 for Hill. We were giving up 3 picks. Miami gave up 5.
Yeah.
We would have gave up Paul, Johnson, Ruckert.
Oh, it makes me sick to my stomach to think about that.
I still want to happen. It could be a biggest blessing long term if that Hill chose Miami.
It was a blessing. I didn't want it to happen.
Yeah.
I admit that I was fully drinking the hype, and well, part of it was I had no idea that Garrett Wilson was going to be there at 10 and Jermaine Johnson was going to be there at 26. So part of it is hindsight, but man, I mean remember when heading into 2019, Kirk Cousins was linked to the Jets. The contract that Tyreek Hill got, that's the contract we were talking about paying Kirk Cousins to be our franchise quarterback like 3 years ago. 4 years at $30 million a year, fully guaranteed. I think they might be a little Tyreek hungover when it comes time to pay the piper on that contract. As good as Tyreek Hill is, that's just, man. And they gave up 5 picks. Like 5 picks and $30 million. Think about the amount of players you can get with. First of all, $30 million gets you 2 Pro Bowl players at other positions. You can get like a Pro Bowl guard and a Pro Bowl safety, and then 5 other quality picks. That could be like 3 really good starters, 2 backups, and then a special teamer. You gave up for Tyreek Hill. It's a lot.
And Hill's 28 years old. I mean, you could say right now he's at his peak, but you know what? He's not going to. We've probably seen the best of him at this point.
His game is based on speed solely.
And he doesn't have Patrick Mahomes throwing the ball to him anymore. He has Double T throwing the ball to him at this point. Right there, you take a hit unless they're going to throw screen passes to him 50 times a game, which actually may not be the worst idea in the world.
Okay, guys, I think we're at that time.
Intermission?
I gotta wake up early for work tomorrow. Let's go around and just do a final goodbye. Say what you got going on. Plug your channel one more time, and let's wrap this baby up. But I want to start just by saying thank you to everybody in the chat, everybody that's not in the chat, everybody that watches the replay. Thank you. You're the reason we're here. So we appreciate you. We don't forget you. It's like everybody watching him in the chat. It's the only reason we're here, and it's the only reason we're doing this. So we appreciate you very much. Nick?
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that part. I was pulling something up. Proud New York Jets fans. Several of you subscribed to the channel tonight. I appreciate that. I'm going to pull it up again. We do a Friday night hangout, 9 o'clock. These guys are always on. We'll talk Jets. We'll do lists. I'm a big list guy. And this week's list is we've done a lot of good ones, and this one's going to be different. It's going to be top 5 heartbreaking moments in Jets history. So a lot of everything we've done so far has been like those positive moments. Last week we did top 5 favorite moments in Jets history, and this week we're going to do the top 5 heartbreaking moments in Jets history. So should be entertaining, should be interesting to see what everyone says. Buffalo, if you're around, let us know. And we're going to go around 9 o'clock.
Cool.
And thank you. Yeah, love talking with you guys. Could do it all day, every day. Chat, you guys are fantastic. Everyone who's outside of Iowa are my favorite people in the world. So awesome. Thank you for having me on, guys. It was a really fun time.
Yeah, Buffalo Jet fan, as you see it, YouTube, Twitter. Been hanging out with these guys tonight since, 8 o'clock pretty much? So 5 hours talking Jets in July. All right. Good stuff.
You gotta love it. Gotta love
Screw the SB Awards. This is real entertainment right here.
Didn't even know what happened until I opened Instagram.
Exactly. Which they actually used to be fun to watch back in the day, but hey, yeah. NY Sports Wicker Media is the YouTube channel. I've got the articles at nysportswickermedia.blogspot.com. Thanks everybody for watching. All of our content, we appreciate it more than you'll ever know. Thank you.
All right, and there you have it. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys for being on tonight. It was a lot of fun. I had a good time, so I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate everybody in the chat. Take care. Have a good one. Adios, and whatever. And let's relive the draft one more time, just because I just love watching myself react. Don't not be Thibodeau. And here it comes. It's about to come in. Oh my God! They didn't. They took Sauce Gardner. Oh my God! They don't want an edge. Maybe he likes Jermaine Johnson at 10. Then we're not going to get a wide receiver?
Garrett Wilson, wide receiver. Oh my God, no edge. The Jets traded up. The Jets traded up. Are we taking JJ? Are we taking JJ? Because I know Braden is in New Zealand saying, we should get Yuli, Mike. He's definitely saying that. JJ! We got Johnson! We got Johnson at 26! We got Johnson at 26! This is great! Yes! They took Roger McCreary, they didn't take Dean, and we traded up. We can get to Kobe Dean. We can get to Kobe Dean. It really is. They took Breece Hall. They took Breece Hall. Wow. I mean, look, I love Breece Hall. But there's also Jeremy Ruckert, who I think is the best tight end in the class personally. They took Jeremy Ruckert. He took Jeremy Ruckert. Yes! We got a Jeremy. We got a Jeremy. Oh, and the Jets pick, and it's Max Mitchell, offensive tackle. We needed that. That's wow. We took Michael Clemens. I never heard of him. A defensive edge.